My man, welcome to Easy Talk.
What's up? What's up, man?
I appreciate you. You were one of the guys that when we first started reached out and was like, "Hey, this is amazing. This is so cool what you're starting. I can't wait to be on one day." And I just wanted to say from one man to another, I really do appreciate the support.
Real talk.
When we did that Spotify Unwrapped thing, we took like a month and a half hiatus because of the construction, and it really took a toll on me, to be honest with you, because we had started so strong, and we were getting guest after guest, and we were growing, and it was like really euphoric, right? Mm-hmm. And then the construction happened, and I was like, "Fuck, man!" It was a big pause in a lot of like the trajectory and the growth of the podcast.
Right.
We took a month and a half off, and then when we picked up, one of the first people that messaged me again was you. So I just wanted to say, from one man to another, I do appreciate that. Seriously,
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Man. Real talk, man. Support is support, man. No matter what it is, it can be just a phone call. You don't have to talk to the person every day. You know what I'm saying? A simple reach out, hey, how you doing? How's the family? What you feeling like? What you been up to? Simple things like that with people. You never know who may need it, who might not need it. You never know. It might brighten a person's day. A simple text or a simple how you doing can all go a long way with some people.
I agree 100%, but the majority of humanity does not think that way. So True. What about you or your upbringing leads you to kind of have this perspective of like, hey, this might mean more to the average person than they might even think. Like, why do you approach life that way? Or how did you get to the point where you now approach life this way?
See, so like me, based on not reciprocating negativity, because what I've always been brought to all my life, like every time, I start channeling my mental thoughts and my mental of how I really believe and how I really feel. Because at times I really didn't give a care about how I was saying things, but sometimes words do affect certain people, because I was one of those people that was affected by just words. So I start if I don't want that with someone else, why would I want it with me? So I start feeling as myself like, you know what? Let me take a step back. Let me really think about this real quick, because as I get older in these ages, things are not going to always be like this. A simple kind gesture is not going to always match it to, well, you know, it's not just like that. Everybody just sees it as you have to be so, how can I say, so gun-ho with certain stuff, jumping just all the time. Just a simple, hey, you know, how you doing, bro? Hey, thanks for even asking, man, because I ain't even get that all day today. You know, how you doing? I like things like that, smart. And I was raised on being respectful. And being respectful can get you a long way sometimes.
I'd make the argument that the majority of the time. Meaning, and this is just my anecdotal evidence, that you hear in business a lot, like never burn a bridge, you know, shake every man's hand, things like that. Mm-hmm. I would say the golden rule of treat others the way you would want to be treated applies to business and life as well. Mm-hmm. And I think that respect, they always say like respect is earned, not given, and I agree with that statement, but the status for respect initially should always be given.
Right.
And then if you do something to revoke that respect or revoke that trust that I had in you to, you know, operate as a normal human being or operate in good faith or operate with a mutual level of respect. Well, now that's gone. Now you're going to have to work to get that back. What I gave to you up front as a means of goodwill, you have now spat on. Now you're going to have to work to receive that again. I think that's the proper way. You know, what do I know? I'm 32 years old now. But I do know that when people give me their hand, I shake it. And if people show me respect, I show it back. You know what I mean? And that's also coming from a lifetime of, you know, youth and exuberance and
growth. It's just
growth is a good way to describe it.
It's just growth. Like 32, you don't even look 32.
Oh, thank you. You know what they say? White don't clack.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, whatever. Your method is your method. However
I'll tell you
want to put it.
I'll tell you what kept me young was fighting. You know, like
It
everyone's
does.
talking about, like, you know, like athletics and stuff like that. People oftentimes talk about, like, I stay in the gym, I get good sleep and stuff like that.
Right.
Bro, I partied and punched people in the faces, and it kept
Every
me lively.
Yeah.
So, did you watch the UFC last night by any chance?
I did. I really did. I really enjoyed it. It really had me on the edge of my seat. It really gave me the jitters. It really gave me the palms are sweaty, knees weak, arm is ready. You know, I was ready.
He was, in fact, eating mom's spaghetti.
Yeah, you know, I was really in tune. Like, man.
Was it because there were St. Louis
Yeah,
guys
it
on
was
there?
just representing period that, and just automatically when I get so told like the could have been like the could have be just like being there and just being involved in this with these guys that you know, and you like, man, and you're like you're there. You just got a hard work, dedication. You're there.
I was talking to Lucas Clay about that because I know that you also train at St. Charles MMA.
Yes, I
and
do. Yes.
Some of the questioning was along the lines of, you know, they say proximity to power gives you the disillusion of power. However, I would also say that having people around you that are successful in whatever it is, it doesn't necessarily have to be fighting. If you're you know, a plumber and you got a guy in front of you who's an exceptional plumber, that'll kind of bring you up because you're going to watch him and see how he does things or see what he doesn't do, right? And it's the same thing in other aspects of life, including fighting.
Right.
So now you got Buckley in there, you got Julius in there, you got some high-level guys in there that have seen what the top of the mountain looks like. I mean, Buckley right now is like definitely the prime example because of his ascension, and the fact that he just started training at St. Charles MMA. What did that do for the gym when you got a guy like that coming in and he's making that his primary camp spot and, you know, kind of showing a lot of you guys, hey, this is kind of what it takes to do this full time, and not just full time, but at the highest level successfully?
When my perspective, you know, like when he wasn't there, when I was there, and when I seen him, it just felt like I wasn't alone, if you get what I'm saying, at the time frame of being the type of person who we are. We grew up like almost similarities but just a little different on some aspect things. Coming in there as being just who I am, of trying to bring myself into another environment of something I never thought I'd see myself into this gym, because the things I've heard and saw of the caliber of gyms that I've been around to.
You're referring specifically to St. Charles MMA.
Yeah, as far as MMA.
Can you elaborate on that? What do you mean? Like you didn't feel like you were welcome? You didn't feel like...
Yeah, so I feel that when I went there, I was like, I felt like a new kid at a school.
Okay.
And it's like, I gotta win these people over for
like
a new school. Like, they don't know me for real, but they know me. But
Gotcha.
they really don't know me. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Do I got like the face the big guy of the camp, like the gym, like a school? I gotta face the badass of the gym, like just to get my respect. Like, nah, it wasn't like that because of what I was thinking of what was told to me about St. Charles MMA.
Oh.
So it's like, I have to witness this myself.
Gotcha.
Let me go into this new environment myself and see myself.
And then when you did start going there, was it a culture shock?
It pretty much was.
Yeah.
It pretty much was. And what I mean by really like culture, yeah, we had my people. But as far as me, a city kid coming from the city, all the way out there to St. Charles, 35, 40-minute drive every day, constantly staying on it, like trying to be dedicated to it because I like what they were bringing. I like how they were doing things. It was like a change of scenery from where I was.
Just wanted to take a second to pause the action and just tell you guys, thank you so much for consuming our content. Easy Talk is a passion project. This podcast is just a bunch of like-minded people coming together to produce some cool stuff and talk to some cool people. One of the things I would very much appreciate is if you could possibly like the video or subscribe to the channel, just because it helps us in the algorithm and ultimately to grow, to get more exposure to everybody, including ourselves, and ultimately just make a better product. Take a second. I'd greatly appreciate it. And on with the show. From where the previous gym that you were at.
Doing.
When you say some of us were there, as I recall, when Jared closed up shop, a lot of the guys from MCS went over to St. Charles MMA. Mm-hmm. Did the migration make it easier? Because then you also got CJ down there. You got some like faces. It's not like you're just kind of like leaving an area to go to some place all by yourself, so to speak. At least some of the guys that you know are familiar faces. Did that make it easier when you wanted to go to St. Charles?
Kind of not, because those faces, I'm really, like I said, I didn't talk to like that. I just seen them at the gym.
Even at MCS?
Yeah. We didn't talk, we didn't skate, we didn't hang out, we didn't do none of that. I just seen them come handle business,
and
time to go home. And it's just I came to work.
Yeah, but I understand that, but like there was no camaraderie. I mean, think about it. Like Band of Brothers, none of that.
It was with
Okay.
certain guys, but certain guys have different agendas on their minds.
Okay.
So, like, say for instance, like the CJs, the Hugh Pulley, that's now in Florida now. Hugh Pulley, Wolverine Pulley.
Wolverine, yeah.
So I bonded with them two. Then Charles Rogers. Then I bonded with, I bonded with Timothy Bradley. Then I bonded with was it Steven Brickzilla?
Oh, Steve. Yeah.
Steve Brickzilla.
He's the one that got Tim Jackson into MMA.
Yeah, and then I started bonding with, with those guys who really share similarities of what we were all in.
Okay, well, I'm not saying necessarily that you have to have a bond with everybody in the gym, but you still had your group. Okay, that makes more sense. I thought you were like, I came to the gym, I worked, I bounced. I'm like, damn, really? Like, I don't think there's a single gym I went to.
I was the. Like I said, when we all came in as a group, because there was also another guy who brought me into it that really that's how I saw them and met all of them from Montreal, Jason. Everybody was Ken Porter.
Oh, really?
Ken Porter is the one who got me. Ken
go out
Porter
there.
was the one who got me into fighting.
How did you and Ken Porter meet, if you don't let me ask you?
So me and KP, Ken Porter, I call him KP for short. I was coming home from school one day, college. I was a football player, of course. I was at a spot called the Jim Edmonds spot. It was a nightclub spot.
Okay.
KP, Ken Porter, was also there. And I guess he was already well known from him fighting and doing things like that. Yeah, and boxing. So he was like, hey, you're an athlete, ain't you? I'm like, yeah, yes, sir, I am. You look like it. Are you here? And I'm just there for a vacation from school, from football. So I'm just there for football. I said, yeah, why? Who's asking? Just a random person asking me, like, yeah, what's up? What,
Yeah, who are you?
Who are you? That's the time that when, remember this show, what was his name who passed away that did the bully beatdown?
Oh, Mayhem Miller?
Mayhem Miller.
Is Mayhem dead?
I thought that's what he was. Who did bully beatdown? Mayhem
He's dead?
Miller, I think so. I think he is.
Can you check that?
Yeah, I think so. I really think Mayhem Miller. I think it's one of them.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Mayhem Miller, that's at the time did bully beatdown, and the guys with
I know that he had like a little bit of a mental breakdown after all the facts and
then
everything.
the guys who did the tap out, the fro guy, the guy with the big
the
fro,
original tap out guys.
the original tap out guy. So I guess he was,
It was like Mask. They were there. Mayhem Miller.
Yeah, they were at this.
Ken Porter and the tap out guys.
Yeah, they were at this club.
That's
called
an interesting club, brother.
Yeah, it was called Jim Evans Club. He's the famous baseball for the Cardinals. So of course they pop in there on certain nights, and they just so happily they popped in there on that. And I'm like, oh wow, the tap out guys. Oh wow, cool.
Were they wearing the garb and everything? The tap
No,
out
they were
guys.
just normal.
They were chilling.
Guys.
Right,
they
cool.
were normal guys. VIP section, bottles. Hey,
Come on down.
I ain't no groupie, but yeah. You want to drink? Come on over here. They were just over there. What times? But me and KP took the time. We veered off like, hey, you want to fight? And I'm like, huh? I want to fight. Like I can fight. And it's just
Did you
like
express interest before that, or did he just ask you out of the blue?
I was too far into football. I was football minded until he was like, would you like to train fighting? I said, sure. That's cool. What's it I got to do? Because at the time, I was watching Bully beat down. Like, I was also the kid who watched that and lived, like, I beat bullies up.
Yeah.
Like, guys who couldn't fend themselves, I usually protect them. Okay. I didn't like no one picking on someone that didn't know how to defend themselves.
You had the natural protective aspect,
The
but you weren't
instinct of
necessarily a trained guy.
Trained guy at the time. So it's like, hey, why you picking on this guy? Or why you come on, man? So I was the type to do that. I was the Captain Save-A-Ho, if you wake up.
Captain Save-A-Ho. Never heard of that before, but now.
Yeah, I was the,
How does that guy feel? Like, hey, listen, thank you, but just don't call me out.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but they knew exactly, like, man, why you always fighting, KJ? I just hate people picking on people, man. Because we don't know what these people going through. So, anywho, KP asked me, he was like, do you want to fight? I said, sure. He was like, okay, give you 3 months. I said, I don't need 3 months. Give me 2. Because I'll be leaving soon. He was like, you sure? I said, yeah, sure.
Was this like, what, summer break and you were about to go back to school?
I was back to school. And I
so
need
you're like,
some
if
money.
I'm going to have a fight.
Might as well go on. Give me 2 months before I go back. So I'm no money talk, bull stuff walks. So everybody knows the motto of that. So I'm like, hey, I do need some. I need new books. I need some dorm material. I need some new stuff when I go back to school. So it's like, he was like, hey, give you 3 months. I said, I only need 2 because I already knew how to fight, but I didn't do this type of fighting. I just knew how to box and
Yeah, you knew how to
protect
hold your
myself.
hands and protect yourself against
The
someone,
basics.
but also against someone who is also, and I don't mean this as an insult, but another untrained individual.
Yes. And that time, my first fight was in front of Matt Hughes himself. That I did not know that was Matt Hughes himself.
Heart of St. Charles?
Matt Hughes. I did not
Was
know.
it a Jim Jenkins card?
I think it was a Jim Boucher or Jim Smothers card. One of them Jims.
Jim Smith? It's either Jimmy Smith or Jim Jenkins.
One of them Jims. And he was like, hey, I got a fighter here. He's this and this. He's an athlete. Let's get him a fight. So I trained where I was at with KP independently from underneath him.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, I got you set up for a fight.
What does that mean? You trained with KP independently? Like, are you at like a Gold's Gym? Are you out?
I'm in a basement of a house.
Yeah.
I'm at his, hey, meet me here at this time.
Brother.
I'm there every day.
Jay D'Amato had one of the best gyms I've ever been to in my life, and he was in the basement of a pizzeria.
Hey, so I got it how we got it. And
Yeah.
we got it. And when we got it in. I mean, down there was mats, bags, dummies. He had
Everything
it all.
you needed.
Everything I need. He said, all you got to do is this, X, Y, and Z.
It's also nice of him to kind of like offer you the services for
He gave me the
training.
platform. I do respect. Shout out KP. I appreciate that. Shout out KP. I do shout him out. You know what I'm saying? Much respect, bro.
Do you still talk to him today?
Nah,
not as much?
Today. Not as
Is he
not as
retired?
long.
I haven't really heard much
I'm
about
not
him.
sure what KP, little Mighty Mouse is doing. I'm not sure, but yeah, I know he's still around. I know he's still around or doing whatever he's doing. I know truck driving or selling cars.
But listen, everyone's going to transcend afterwards.
Yeah. So,
But if you don't mind, I want to go back to the original question that I had, though.
Okay.
Having guys like Buckley in the gym, having guys like Julius in the gym, does that give you kind of like this, like a measuring stick? This is where I need to get to. There's value in that, I think, but I don't know.
I call it, well, it's funny as you mentioned Julius. I call him the head honcho. Julius. He's the captain. I call him the captain.
Gotcha.
He's the stepping stool who I seen and known of being around to actually set foot in there, and actually from Bellator to me actually in there watching it doing myself, like, man, it's just motivated me, and you showed me the way of how it is. And actually not too long, like years ago, me and Julius actually fought on the same card at Fight Hard at the Family Arena. And that was so amazing. I feel like, oh, whoa.
Was Julius defending his belt?
No, he
fight for a
wasn't.
belt?
I don't think he was at the time. I don't think he was at the time.
Talk about a throwback. Fight Hard.
Fight Hard, yes.
Family Arena.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, listen. I think the guys have it really good right now too, with like the Armory, the Factory, and some of the venues that they got now. But dude, when I think back about like when I was an amateur, I started at the Heart of St. Charles as well. And then by the end of my amateur career, I was fighting at the Family Arena main eventing, and I was just like, man,
So
this
amazing.
is pretty intense.
Where you was at to where you was actually going to where that you actually was living in front of this thousands of people. It's like, it was amazing. It's like, is this a dream? This is like a movie to me. It's like, it felt so unreal. A fighting I went from a boxing ring to a cage, to a sold out center, then to a stadium. Like, that's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive.
It was in the context of it, but like none of that changed the way, like whether I fought in front of one person or 5,000 people,
yeah.
it all felt like the fight felt the same, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like the speed of it, reaction time, how fast the fight went by.
Right.
Because everyone thinks like this like fight is this like monumental task. And I
Yeah.
tell everybody, I go, it'll be over before you know it.
Just like that.
And you're going to be exhausted within the first 30 seconds if you let the moment get to you. Because
Yes.
that adrenaline dump is fucking
And the
real.
lights, the heat, the
Oh,
Vaseline,
yeah.
to when they close that lock and say, you're ready,
Or just,
ready.
yeah, or just the fact that like you're just like, let's say you're the first person to walk out there. Now you have to sit there for like fucking 5 minutes, let the other guy walk out. He's got to, dab up his boys before he gets in the cage and get the Vaseline, and then the announcer starts. So you've already been in this cage for like 5 minutes before like the round even starts.
Come on.
Yeah.
I didn't come here for a long time. I came here for a good time, and I'm ready to go.
And God forbid you're like one of the if you're the first fight of the night, it's fine because they're not rushing you. And if you're the last fight of the night, it's fine, they're not rushing you. Yeah. But if you're any fight in between, it's like, all right, let's go, kid. Let's get the fuck out. We got the next fight to go to.
You speak of that. I love that. I love always fighting in the middle.
Why? In and out?
I like fighting in the middle because it's like it just shows me and preps me for what I'm finna get used to and what I'm finna see when I get out there. It's like I like to be the middle guy. I like to be observant. I want to see first. I want to see first. I want to see.
That's hilarious because I always thought it was the first fight that got the best. The first fight of the night, because you're starting off the night. There's no precursor. Imagine you're in the pen, right? Like you're about to walk out, and the fight that's happening right now is a fucking banger.
It is.
And you're like,
I gotta top that.
You're like, how am I gonna show this up? Like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Now if it's a snoozer, you're like, oh no, you're gonna like half the crowd's gonna leave. Like, stop. Like, guys, pick it up.
Yeah.
I think the first fight of the night is just so nice because not only are you done then and you can enjoy the show, and if you got other guys from the gym, like you know, you're done. You can join the crowd. You can have a beer. You're done. You're not cornering. You know, chances are, if you're the first fight of the night, you're not cornering anybody. You don't really know what you're doing just yet, right? So you don't have any responsibilities. You did your thing. Go enjoy the night. I think I've only had one fight where I was the first fight of the night and I missed it. I was like, dude, that was the fucking way to do it. Wow. Start off the show, and then afterwards you're enjoying and watching all the other fighters. Yeah. It was, and you don't have the anxiety because you know, even if you're in the middle, let's say you're like the 6th of 12 fights, you want to go out and thank the people that are there to. So like you kind of sneak out there, hey guys, what's going on?
What's up?
You're hugging everybody, and everyone's like, good luck, and you're like, you're still shitting your pants. You're like, oh my god, I gotta go out there and fight still. You know what I mean? But when you're the first fight of the night, now you're going out there as like it has happened.
Right.
It's now we're either cheering or I'm getting my like, hey, you did so well. You know what I mean? I think the first fight of the night is the best one. Main event is the worst. Main event is the worst.
I witnessed. We witnessed both first and last. And main event.
What did you? And you like middle more than anything?
Middle more than anything.
Best of both.
Because everybody's tuned in, everybody's there, everybody's live, everybody got their food.
People aren't drunk yet.
So people still are. They getting warmed up. You know how you get warmed up. The first, like a football game, it's the first quarter, the second quarter. Now it's the clutch quarter, proud quarter. Now it's the third and fourth quarter. Now it's finna get nitty gritty. Now we seen some excellent stuff in the first half, but we got 60 more minutes to go. We got 30 more minutes to go. So I just felt like that every time. Like every time I was just like loving to be in the middle. Like I just love it.
That's preference is.
It's just preference. I love being in the middle because it shows that if you miss it, you don't want to miss what's going to happen in the middle of the. So you missed you don't want to miss what's going to happen in the middle and to the end. Yeah. We got some bangers coming.
When you said that Julius was the kind of guy that you call him like captain and stuff like that, has he in any does he mentor you passively, actively? Is he even a mentor? Is he a guy you call captain because of the way he, like, the presence that he brings to the gym? I'm trying to understand your relationship with Julius and, like, how you view him and why you view him as quote-unquote captain.
Yeah, the reason why my perspective, because everybody else got their different, I view him as a captain because he is, like, how his demeanor and how he is. He's a cool, down-to-earth guy. He's willing to help anybody. He may look like a Terminator on the outside, but guy, if you really talk to him at night, like I finally did, and show him like, hey, X, Y, and Z. He really takes the time and really progresses you like this or that.
Well, he's a good soul. I like Julius a lot.
Yes. He's really showed me like, hey man, since I seen you here or there, this if I can show you this, you show me that. Like he really took the time, and that's all I ever wanted was someone just to really take the time to actually develop me the way I supposed to have been developed, the way it's supposed to have really happened, because we are two of the same people, just not the same caliber, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He showed me different type of ways and showed me different type of ways. Like again, shout out Julius, man, for real. Shout out Julius, you're a real one, man. And I feel like he really took the stepping stool of being my captain because I seen him do something that first that I want to do. So that's what captains do. You like a rookie.
When you say he did something first that you wanted to do, meaning like what, get to the big show?
Big shows.
Okay.
Big shows,
okay. So it wasn't necessarily the day-to-day, but it was like the acclamation of all his hard work. It's like if he can do it, I can do it.
I can do it too. We are. It was like, how can I say it without? How can I say it without? I'll take these off.
Yeah.
It's to the point.
Now we're having a real conversation.
Yeah. So, because I like to represent my team and my teammates and the fellas to show them that this ain't no fakery, no flaudery, or nothing type of, no type of this is the real KJ, and this is the real fact of how I feel about these people and these guys that really played their part in my life. It really means a lot to me. These guys been there somewhere that I thought I'd never be, and showed me like, okay, if I do this all the time and stay grounded and stay to this and stay true to this, I can be where they're at. But only if I have the right people there backing me and supporting me, not just me by myself, because you can't train by yourself.
No.
You can't do nothing by yourself.
Paul Collum, he's an independent wrestling coach, and he says it takes a village.
It does.
No, you don't get a Jordan Burroughs by just one coach and one parent.
Yes.
It takes a village. And I agree with him, actually.
Yes.
You need a lot of people. There needs to be a lot of people behind somebody for greatness to happen. And I'm not saying that it has to be that way, but if someone does achieve greatness on their own, that was divinity and not the individual. That was like preordained almost. That was God selecting you and saying you're different.
Facts.
But outside, for the 99.99999 other percent of people, including the top 1% of people that are going to fight and do all this, you're going to need a village behind you. And the village can be 5 people, it can be 50. I'm not saying it has to be like, if you want to choose quality over quantity or vice versa, teach their own, whatever works for you. But I do agree with you that I know for myself as well, if I didn't have the right people at the right times and all these other things, I would not have gotten as far as I have done, or I would not be where I'm at.
Right.
So Julius was one of those guys for you.
I just felt like he was a straight big dog, like a straight brother, like a straight.
How much time did you train before St. Charles MMA, like years-wise, and then how much time have you spent at St. Charles MMA?
So how much I've been training nonstop, even to a month. I play ball too, a football player. I'm an athlete. So it was either I'm training for football, or
I'm talking about specifically martial arts.
Okay.
Because like you had that, and we'll get to it. Don't get me wrong, we will. But I'm talking about martial arts. Like when you were done with football, when you were done with school, like where you were what, 22 years old?
I was
22 years old.
Yeah, 22.
So you're 35 now. So 13 years. Well, that 13 years, math, man, that's my shit.
Good stuff.
13 years.
That wasn't my strong suit. You got that. But history.
All right. Listen, I'm already at half mast, brother.
Yeah.
13 years. How many of those years were spent outside of St. Charles, and how many of those years were spent inside St. Charles? Was it
It's
like
only 2.
the last 2 years?
I've only been involved with 2 years now. I've been involved.
So that's a substantial amount of change then for you to feel the way you do. It's such a short amount of time, considering 11 years.
Yep, everywhere
elsewhere.
else. Bouncing everywhere else like a pogo stick.
Yeah.
Bouncing everywhere else, trying to find a fit home. I was with Jeff Henry. I was with Anaconda MMA.
Well, Jeff Henry back when he had his own gym.
Yeah, I was all the way at Mills Mall. I was all the way at the St. Peter's Mall inside.
Did you and
mall.
Jake Roberts train together by any chance at the same time?
I never got the feeling of the North County
Nightmare.
I heard of it, but I never got to. I heard of him and seen him. I never got to.
Can I ask you the irony in the guy who takes North County Nightmare as his name being white?
Yeah, because I never. And I looked at it every time I see his poster, and I'm like,
Hold up now. What part of North County?
What part of North County are you from? And he tell me, hey, I went to Hazelwood. I'm like, okay, all right, okay, that's the.
You got some stripes. You got some stripes.
You got a little bit. You went to a predominantly, you got it, buddy. You got it. But he's
Jake's a cool guy.
He's a Billy, what they call a Billy badass, and when it came to certain stuff that he knows, and I just, like I said, I didn't really be accustomed around it. Him and Jimmy Donahue as well too. Jimmy Donahue was also one of those guys.
Started at Jeff Henry's or trained at Jeff Henry's at some point. Jimmy Donahue actually was at Finney's for a minute before he went to St. Charles MMA too. It's funny that when you start looking at the history of these gyms and stuff like that, how many people had gone to how many of them. When I first met Jeff, I actually did not know Jeff Henry had his own gym.
Yeah.
I had known Jeff Henry. I'm very likely going to have Jeff Henry on the podcast as well.
Yeah.
I didn't know Jeff Henry had his own gym until Jake Roberts told me like 3 days ago.
Wow. Really?
I was like, what? He's like, yeah, Jeff Henry and forget the other gentleman's name. Forgive me, but they had
Justin something. It was Justin.
There was like the finance and then like the coaching. You know what I mean? But yeah, Jeff had his own gym. I was like, well, that makes sense because by the time Jeff got to me, I looked at him. I was like, man, you've been coaching for a while because you're pretty good at this shit. You know what I mean? So it all made sense. But it's funny how these things and how these people kind of bounce around and you know, the cream rises to the top, so to speak. Well, there you guys are, all at the same gym now.
Yeah, we are. It feels
funny how that works.
It does. It's like, you know, how everything will planned out. as it's supposed to
be.
We're supposed to way that you direction it, but we're gonna wind up bumping it, like bumping heads, and we're seeing each other some way, some form, some fashion.
Yeah.
And like every time when I used to like constantly when I first seen Jeff at Anaconda MMA with Justin back in the day, it was Zach Freeman.
Yeah. Altar Boy.
Altar,
He was down there too, yeah.
Yeah. And I went in there. I was just by myself.
Was Zach a pro at the time or still an amateur?
I think so. One of the top prospects.
Like he was like right there.
He was right there. 170s. He was like right there, and I was just.
And that was kind of like right. But I know he's not your weight class, but near your weight class. So that's probably one of your main training partners, right? Mm-hmm. How was that? Culture shock when you first walked in?
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's me and you. It's like it's me and you again. We meet again, because last time we met, it was a brawl.
Is Zach still going to St. Charles MMA?
Oh, he comes in there, popping there. He got a good job now.
Yeah, he travels.
He does his thing. He comes in there now. Hey, KJ,
he's not fighting anymore, is he? He's retired.
I don't think he does, but he just also does the jiu-jitsu just to stay in shape, stay right. Who does it? When you're done, you just want to stay just to see.
I think you're always going to be around the world. I forget who it was that I was talking about, but they were saying something along the lines of like, I can't wait till I'm done with this. Dakota Bush. Mm-hmm. Dakota was like, when I'm done fighting, like I'm gonna like walk away from it. I'm not gonna coach. I'm not gonna do anything. I was like, no, you're not. Nah. I was like, all your not even if you want to,
right?
But all your friends, all your network, all the people that you know are around this world. You think you're just gonna walk away?
You invested into this.
Your father-in-law is Pat Smith. Good luck. You know what I mean? Like, come on. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, you're not gonna be able to do this unless you cut off all these ties. In which case, I would say that would be a net negative to your life. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that you have to coach. You have to be around the sport in that aspect, but. Sport's never gonna leave you. I know for me, it'll never leave me. Yeah. I will forever be a fan until the day I die now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So competition is just one aspect or one chapter of your life. Mm-hmm. Then it's the next. But forgive me, this is your story, not mine.
No, you good. I'm here to listen. I'm listening. I observe, soak in, and listen because of things that, like I said, we've been around. Around these things, it's just differently. You experience what you experienced. I experienced what I experienced differently. I had so much misdirection into this sport called fighting. I just didn't know where which gym to call home. I was just moving around too much, trying to find and give too many people too many opportunities.
When you say misdirection, do you mean
I was misled? Like I was misled. Like. Just fight. From
who?
From
everybody.
Jeff? Everybody. I used to deal with Jeff. It was a guy, rest in peace, Kerry Prather, R.I.P. Kerry Prather. He was also a guy after KP. He also had some things going on. I also stayed with him.
Lived with him. No,
Yes, he took me out of and put me in a better situation because he seen the potential in me. So he took me out of where I was at. I will always praise him. Shout out to the Prather family for, giving me the opportunity to open the doors to me and my family for letting us, have a roof over our head when that time, But in the mix of time, I had to be a fighter as well, too, because I was there.
So did he give you this roof over your head or this opportunity because you wanted to fight for him? You were training under him? No, it was kind of like a combination of multiple things. Okay. But still, God bless.
Both. And it started being... business, friendship, and so forth, so on.
What if I told you that the second you mix business with friendship,
yes,
you can never go back unless you break the friendship.
Yes.
It's tough, isn't it?
Real tough.
That's something that I've had to kind of when I started some of my businesses and I started employing people, it was one of the proudest moments of my life, to be honest with you. I love handing out paychecks. I really do. Mm-hmm. But I noticed that whenever I would get into business with friends or try to give them opportunities or something like that, it's not that it would bite me in the ass or anything like that, but if you hire someone you don't know and then you need to fire somebody, it's chill. Like, it was business that brought us together, and it's business that rips us apart.
Right.
But the friendship aspect of it just adds a different paradigm that I don't think I was prepared for. Mm-hmm. And going forward, I try not to intermingle, for better and worse, right? Because like you can hire a friend and they'll be much more gung ho about it, give you better work, be more passionate about it because of that friendship. But if it goes sour, all the emotions that could lead to productivity can also lead to detriment, right? And it's like, oh, well, fuck you. And then it gets much more emotional than it should be.
Get out of there.
And if this gentleman is taking you out of one location, putting you in a different location, housing you and your family, I hate this saying, but nothing is free. And he's going to get that nut back one way or another.
Yeah.
Was that something that you realized? But
very much. But it's like
But you started off with praise for him, so obviously it was like
it was good. It was a good.
It was a net positive.
It was. It was. But when I started getting up in the rankings, like before I lost my first fight, I was 12-0 as an amateur.
Oh, everyone thought you were hot shit.
A city kid coming out of the ghetto, going around to these gyms, just trying to find a home, trying to make something for herself. These people just fighting every 2 weeks, every other month or 3 months. I'm just fighting. And it's like, whoa, wait, hold on. I could be going somewhere with this. I'm 12-0 right now.
Yeah.
I'm 12-0 right now as an amateur. I got 5 belts already. Like, what's going on here? And it looks at me like, hold on. Like, when I first seen John Jones step on the scene, my favorite fighter of all times, my GOAT, John Jones. When I seen him, and it was just like, whoa, he has the same last name as me. Like, hold on.
That's my brother.
That's
literally my brother.
Hold on. Are we related? Mom, hey, Mom.
I sent him a letter.
Yeah, I got to send something. Like, Mom,
Hey,
do we know
cuz.
him? Hey, cuz, what's up? Like, is he reunion? Is he part of the family reunion?
That's funny.
Like, she's like, nah, he's not. I'm like, okay, whew, because I'm looking like, holy crap.
Yeah,
And
23 years old, wins the UFC belt. That's crazy.
And I'm like, hold on. Here I am in the same predicament as a top amateur going, like, I'm looking around some good people, and I'm looking at everybody like, hey, okay, this is the time I'm with KP and Kerry Prather. They came together. They joined together, and they became a team. I'm one of their fighters and a couple other guys, a couple other people, James Conaway, you had Fred Freeman, you had a couple other guys. We were all start coming up, but I'm the original. I'm
the
the
original
first
KP guy.
I'm the original from my perspective of it. Kendrick Latchman.
Yeah.
He's also moved now
Another
as well.
guy at 25, but he's a killer too, man.
Yeah. And then
So is Zach Freeman, 45, killer.
So all these guys, we all had different relationship with these guys. It's just some stayed with KP when Kerry took me and said, I'll just take, and KJ, because my situation, KP at the time wasn't able.
Well, Ken was also still fighting himself.
And that's the thing.
I say you can't be a good coach if you're still fighting.
Yeah, and then you was doing a little too much, and you don't overfill your plate. Don't put too much of don't overfill your plate.
When you say he was doing too much, you mean like he was trying to do the gym, he was trying
everything.
I actually disagree 100% on that.
He's trying to do everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Good.
And it's like you
but
can't.
But here's the thing though. How do you know when it's too much? When you start failing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then what you do is you find efficiencies and you still make that work and then don't add any more to that. Mm-hmm. So the way I look at it is like you have 40 hours a week, right? The work week. Mm-hmm. If you're working 35, that means you have 5 more hours to fill, okay?
Right.
But you never get to a point where you just fill 40. Get to 42. Mm-hmm. Do a little more.
All right.
Get a little stress.
True.
Then find efficiencies to get to 40.
Right.
Then get down to 35 again, but doing the same amount of shit. Just do it more efficiently, more effectively.
Right.
Then when you're at 35, you know what you do? You don't rest. You go back to 42, you go back to 45, and then you work your way through. Now, I think time management is a skill set, but I'm also running, but the best way to describe it is like I'm also running it in the red. Mm-hmm. But I know that right now the weeks might be long and the days might be hard and all these other things.
Right.
But I'm still learning a lot of these things in these certain industries. The podcast used to take more time than it takes now.
Right.
The trucking company used to take way more time than it does now. There are things that I've created within my life that are more efficient now than they were. Mm-hmm. And things that used to take me 10 hours a week now take me 2. Things that used to take me 20 hours a week now take me 10. Mm-hmm. And that leaves me open for more time to do other shit. Mm-hmm. And my thing is, I'm going to kind of get a little bit machismo on this. I don't know for women, but for men, fill your fucking week 50 hours. A 40-hour work week, go fuck yourself. 50 hours. Yeah. 50 hours a healthy work week.
Right.
that 50 hours needs to be attuned to all things that you like and make you money. And true wealth or like true happiness comes from both. I'm doing things that I like that also make me money. So when you say that Ken Porter was handling too much, I think that wasn't necessarily the case. I think that what it was he was in the effort of taking 50 hours, making it 40, and some things fell through the cracks. And I hate to say it this way, but it was the things that he valued less. He valued the gym less than he valued his other endeavors. Does that make sense? On the totem pole, we all have an importance hierarchy.
Right.
And I often tell people, when you tell me you I don't have the time, bullshit.
Right. You make time.
You don't want to make the time for this because it's not on your totem pole of hierarchy. Totem pole hierarchy, like as important.
Right.
That's fine. I don't like take disrespect to that or anything. Like everyone's got their own shit. But don't tell me you don't got time.
Right.
That shit irritates the fuck out of me.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
just tell me, hey, I got other things that are more important right now. Either entice me with what you're trying to do, make it more important, or you're going to have to wait. I'm fine with that response. I get that completely.
Right.
But don't tell me you don't have time. Right. Don't tell me I have too much on my plate. Don't tell me I can't do more. Yes, you can. Stop being a pussy.
Right.
Be more efficient.
Right.
Handle your shit. You can do more things.
Right.
Now, can you do it today? Maybe not.
No.
But head to that trajectory.
Right.
How many people do you know are complacent? Happy with the 9 to 5?
A couple.
How many people do you know are like go-getters? Every time you're talking to them, they're on the move.
A lot. I know.
Do either of them seem more or less happy to you? To me, they're the same. They chose their path.
Different
strokes for different folks. And I guess I'm going to bring this back by saying it wasn't that he had too much on his plate. It was that he was chasing what he wanted to chase, and he was just failing at it at the moment. Now, the problem with that is when you're an entrepreneur or something like that, and this is a responsibility I take very seriously, is when you fail at the things that are on your plate, you're failing people.
Bingo,
That's
right there.
That's paychecks. That's livelihoods. That's this, that, or the other. When the construction happened, I had 2 producers. They no longer got paychecks. When I had some things happen with the trucking company, insurance claim, one trucker was out of a job, right? And it's more than just I'm not getting to that. Now my inability to get shit done is affecting other people.
Right.
And I take that shit very seriously.
Right.
So it sounds like Ken, at that time, was just not getting shit done, and it was affecting you.
It was.
But I tell you this, it wasn't because he didn't have too much shit on his plate. It was because in his hierarchy, and I hate to say it this way, you were lower on the totem pole than you thought you were.
I was a last resort, and that's why I felt like that's where that came in of, hey, man, I think I'm wasting my time with you. That's where that came in because...
How many years were you there before you got to that point?
I was with him because he brought me into it. So I stuck it out with him.
You were loyal.
I was a loyal... Yeah, thank you. I was loyal to him for sure. Wherever I start, whatever I start, it could be sports, it could be... I stick with it. Gym, I'm loyal to it. I don't need to hop. I'm just loyal to the people who took care of me.
Yeah, but blind loyalty at the first comer is like...
I was because I was young too. I was 22, 23. I'm trying to hurry up and move.
Can I ask you a couple questions? And this is going to be kind of broad, but it's just because I actually don't know these things about you.
Yeah.
Father and mother in the home?
No.
Father or mother?
No.
Like which one was neither?
Just
no
mother.
Just mother. Okay, so mother in the home. Siblings?
Yes.
How many?
3 of us.
You're the oldest, youngest?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest. All right, so you are lacking a paradigm of that parental guidance.
That's one of them.
But you're also taking on the responsibility of being the oldest sibling, so the younger siblings are starting to look to you for wisdom and guidance when mom isn't around, when mom doesn't have the answers. You're also a male figure corresponding to the feminine figure that they have in their life.
All girls.
So you're trying to, oh my God, God bless, brother.
All girls.
So you're trying to come up with this, in this paradigm of like, okay, there are missing pieces to this puzzle that I'm trying to fill.
Right.
But simultaneously, you're also being enticed by other, I don't want to say powerful men in the sense that they had power over you, but they seemed powerful at the time. Like, this guy's got his shit going on.
He got some stuff
and
that I
I was lacking this figure in my life. Like, why would I leave him?
Right.
He's bringing me all these good things, right? I should reciprocate. I should give him the respect he gave me. However, blind loyalty can lead you astray real quickly.
And I think that's what it was. Like so much I was thought, and he knew so much. That's why I said I thought where I was supposed to be in that place, I went 12-0 with you.
Yeah.
What do we do from here?
Is that a conversation you had with him?
Yeah, like, and I didn't get not a response. I didn't get
What was his response? I don't know.
That's it.
I don't know what we do from here.
I don't know. So that's why I said
when he got you into the sport, what was his enticing? Did he tell you that you could be a pro one day in the UFC?
He just told me you could just be a fighter.
Oh, that's a broad. That's
a broad statement. Just a little, and at the time, back in the 2010, 2011, I was trying to chase a dream. I really was, because I was the provider. I was the protector of the girls in the household, in the house, period. And for this guy to come in to try to take that and tell me, to turn me into something to provide and help, I took that as like,
here's the path.
Here, I'm going to take it. And then when you just gave me the end of it, like, what I do? Well, I don't know. Well, you just go from here.
You need some guidance.
I need some. Well, I can't help you, right? I can't. I just went completely blank. So I just completely went. You know what? I got to move on. I can't let this defeat me. Everybody not the same. So I went over there with Carrie. Carrie took me in, fought for Carrie. Then that backfired because, again, blind. Again, I remind you, I'm young. I'm trying to make a dream of myself. I lost my first fight with Carrie. I was 12-1. I faced a guy named Joel Blair at the time.
Joel Blair
on his way to the UFC to when he was 25 and like 2 or 3.
It's funny that I know his name and I know how much of a beast he is.
That's crazy. But he gave me the utmost respect and said, you was the first competitor who ever gave me a run for my money.
Yeah.
All 3 rounds.
So you lose this fight. What's the outcome of it?
And then it's like it completely went bamboo. It changed. It changed people. It changed.
You're no longer undefeated.
I'm no longer, and I'm like, okay.
How much does that suck as a fighter to be like on mount on high, and then the second you get one loss, and it's like, oh, what am I, chopped liver?
They just like bash, like you're weak. I know you couldn't do. What, huh?
All the negative comments
Everything
are
was
coming
out. Everything was. I'm trying to slip and dodge as many as I can, and then it's this one brick who hit me in front of this way. It's like the words hit different. Was hitting me differently.
Was it from people that you loved and admired?
Yeah.
That's the worst.
From those who actually saw, you shouldn't be doing this. See, that's why you need to stop fighting. That's why you just need a regular job. That's why you just need to just work. Be a working man. Ain't nothing wrong with working. You're putting your body on your line. You're hurting your body. You're doing this for nothing.
Well, here's the thing, though. Hold up. Those are comments that are like, that can be prescribed, for me at least, from love. Like, those are all actually good comments. Those are all true. You can be a working man. There's nothing wrong with being a working man. Why are you putting your body on the line? That actually comes from like, hey, we love you. We don't want to see you get hurt and all these other things. However, I understand also at that specific moment in time, you could view that as like, what the fuck, guys? When I was winning, none of these doubts were coming out. The second you see a chink in the armor, now you want to like, when it rains, it pours, so to speak. Now you guys want to poo-poo on my parade. I think if that's coming from the family, or if that's coming from close friends, those actually aren't negative comments. Those are like loving. The best way to describe them is people that don't know, but know that they love you.
I just took it as tough love.
I wouldn't even call it tough love.
Because I had a
ignorant
tough,
love. Ignorant love.
Yeah, I had grown tough love from mom. I just had tough love.
Well, is your mother still alive, by the way?
Yes,
okay.
she is. And breathing.
Yeah, God bless.
Yes, and healthy.
When you got that first loss, what was that experience like with her? She was the one making some of these comments?
No. She wasn't one that. She wasn't the one that said. She was the one who comforted me. She sold me. She was like, "Son, you got this. Just don't let this defeat you."
God bless.
She was there to support me. She was supporting her son. She was supporting her son. She was.
So you get this first loss with this gentleman.
Yeah, Joel Blair. And I'm like, okay, where do I go from here? Do I stop? Do I actually do what these people say do? Do I get this 9 to 5? Do I actually get this job? No,
You're
I
what,
just kept
24, 25 at the time?
24, 25
Still
at the
young,
time.
man.
You're still young still. They like, nah, don't stop, KJ. You know,
Forgive me for kind of putting you said that you went to school for football. Did you also acquire a degree in that endeavor?
no, I didn't. I got in trouble. I got into some academic probation because I was fooling around too much.
You're having too much fun.
Too much fun. I was part freshman year.
Were you able to acquire some credits? And like, what is, to your best of your knowledge, like how far are you from the undergrad?
Associates. I was almost
Associates, sorry.
Always.
You have your associates.
I was almost to my associates.
Well, dude, that's like, that can't be more than like a half a semester.
Yeah, but then I just stopped, and then I started. Things had happened in my life. I had to quit school.
Of course.
So I came back home, went to online school. Things happened with online school.
First of all, I don't think you could do school online.
Online, you know, and I'm like, whoa, homework got to be
I barely got through school on campus.
Oh my God!
If you
Assignment
gave
has to
me the
be in at
option of
12
online,
o'clock, like
I'm not
nah.
graduating.
Homework has to be turned in at 12 by Sunday. Oh my! Essay has to be. Oh,
No, I'm okay with all that stuff. I'm talking about being surrounded. Okay, the same way. Okay, why can't you just watch YouTube videos and fight? Why not? Now, this is a genuine question. Why can't you just, if I YouTube right now, I could YouTube 1-2 drills. I could YouTube jiu-jitsu. I can get a buddy and I could roll around in my living room. Why do you need a gym to be successful? Because it's the environment.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at higher education.
Yeah.
If you would have given me an online exclusively education, I would have dropped out.
Yeah,
No fucking way.
So that was so I experienced that half of that. I couldn't focus because the things that were happening physically and indirectly in front of me, I couldn't sit in front of this laptop for 8 hours, 5 hours a day and be concentrated. I had to get out and do something. I needed to support the house. I needed to help the house.
So you were in this endeavor, was it just exclusively fighting? You had to have been working it during the time, right?
Yeah, so I was working.
You were doing whatever you could to make some money,
Make
and
some
you were
bread.
also
Yeah.
chasing the dream, which was
trying
fighting.
to chase it, try to find something that's really gonna.
You got this loss, bounce back. Did
15-1.
Did you still train with this gentleman even though that first loss kind of created some sort of?
I was still with. Yes, I was still with them. Yeah,
Okay,
I was still with them.
But you noticed a difference in the relationship.
In a different way.
After that
They're
loss.
like, okay, yeah, because as
that
I'm
always in the
staying
back
with
of your
them,
head?
different, things in my head. Like as we're still training, and he's still training me, and he's still taking me through these gyms and taking me to these places just to get the training and stuff. At the end of the day, I'm still going back, and I have to lay my head underneath this roof. So I see the difference outside of the gym.
Yeah.
So it was treating me like,
Dude, you're his bitch now.
come on now,
I hate to say it
come
like
on
that.
now, and it's like.
You're a 23, 24-year-old
Come on,
man.
You won't have nothing. My rules, my say.
That's your daddy.
So
I hate to say it like that, but that's what it becomes.
It is, yeah. And that's what it was.
That's a weird way to have a coach.
And it was weird. So I start like, hold on. I don't deserve
When
this.
you went under the roof, was it just you or was it your
No,
sisters
it was
as well?
me. No. It was me and my girlfriend at the time.
Gotcha.
Which now she is my children's mother. Beautiful. Shout out Dardise Harrison. She's a very beautiful lady.
Stuck around.
She stuck around.
Put up with you.
She put up with me. She put up with everything. She thought that she seen it in me, the fire in me. She was like, she's the one who actually kept the fire going.
I'm going to ask you a very controversial question, but I mean this with sincerity when I ask. You said baby mother, not fiance, not wife. Why not? You don't believe in marriage? By the way, that's not a loaded question. If you don't believe in marriage, you can tell me, Arion, why do I got to put a ring on your finger? Why do I got to do all that stuff?
Me, when we talk about marriage, it's funny you say that we just had this conversation at the family gathering and stuff. Why I have it, I don't know where to start. I fear marriage. I feel that marriage is paperwork. It ain't doing nothing what is it that married couples doing that I can't do?
I'll tell you what it gives you. It gives you a wife. It gives her a title she deserves if she's the children of your mother. Sorry, the mother of your children.
Yeah, that's it, right?
I'll tell you this. I noticed a difference in my wife when she became my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying that you don't need to get married. 100% I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
How long have y'all been together? 10 years, 11 years, 12 years? Brother, that's your wife, even if she doesn't have the title.
It does, yeah.
But why not give her the title if she's already done all the accolades? I understand what you're saying, like, oh, the paperwork and all this other stuff. Brother, $50 $50, I'll officiate your wedding. We could do it. We could do it in your living room. I'll tell you why. And here's the real value. You have a 6-year-old daughter, right?
Yeah.
What do you want for her?
The best life she can ever have.
You want her to be a baby mama, or do you want her to be a wife?
I want her to be a wife. Someone that really truly.
You're her father, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna go for men that act and respond and do the things you do. And if you make it look like it's okay to not get a ring on her finger, she might start thinking that it's okay to not get a ring on her finger.
Yeah.
I hate to say it that way, but I also have a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And that changed the paradigm of my fucking life.
Mm-hmm.
And now, especially now that she's getting older, a year ago, I was like, I can do whatever I want. Now she's like repeating the things I say, and I'm like, oh shit, I really need to watch everything I'm doing because it all matters, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not trying to guilt you into anything. That's not the purpose of this question.
No.
If you love her
Mm-hmm.
and she loves you,
Mm-hmm.
here's what I'm saying. It can be a gold ring that costs $100.
Mm-hmm.
It can be no wedding at all, but in the living room. But it's sanctified by God and the government. You're welcome for the tax benefits, by the way. But more importantly, by God, and more importantly, your 6-year-old daughter will watch it. She'll see it, and she'll never forget the day. Here's my thing, man. This is your woman. You'll make it work. And I can tell you this right now, I would not be where I'm at today without my wife. Yeah. And she would not be there with me if she did not have the title of wife. That makes sense? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I love that you have that person, and I love that that person was there through thick and thin. Then you need to honor that.
I do honor it.
With the highest of honors.
Yeah.
It's your baby mama, that's your wife.
Yeah. So it's
but I don't want to guilt you into this.
You're right. It's so much like my own mother is not even married yet. My grandmother is not even married.
Then start a trend. Start a positive trend.
Break the curse. That's what they call it.
Set the standard.
But this is what I'm saying.
You love your mother?
Yes, dearly.
Do you think the man should never have left her?
I don't know. I can't. I
Fuck
don't
that.
know. I don't know.
Should have never left her. If she raised a fine son like you and three daughters after you, should have never left. The man should have been there.
But they all have different stories. She has 4 different babies.
Then all 4 of them men failed.
They did.
All 4 of them men failed.
Ain't it 2 sides to every story?
No. All 4 of them men failed.
Right.
And you want to bring life into this world, own it. My dad said a very one. You know how people say certain things and they're really 60. My dad said any boy can have a kid. It takes a man to raise them.
Right.
And if you have a girl or a boy, it doesn't matter because you're gonna have to show them what it's like. Like if you have a son as a man, you think to yourself, I'm gonna mold him in my image. Yeah. How many things is your son gonna learn from your wife about empathy, sympathy, the softer sides of life? You show them about masculinity, respect, honor, all these other things. But there's 50% of that equation is not you, brother.
Yeah.
Show him what it means, how important that is. I'm not saying that, and you know what, dude? If we created something in our society that was like ilk to marriage in terms of title, esteem, respect, but not necessarily tied to the government, I would love that. Because if it resulted in more people staying together and raising children properly and being respectful to the sanctity of what it is that they've done, and that's breathe new life.
Right.
It's the most important job you and I have is our children.
Yes.
Everything else is peanuts. I think if you love this woman, truly, and I'm not telling you to get married to a woman you don't love, but if y'all have been together for 12, 13 years, this woman's put up with all your bullshit, and you've put up with all her bullshit, and you guys have had 2 kids together, and I'm sure you guys live together, maybe you have a house, an apartment, whatever the fuck you guys got. You've done everything else. Now what? What, a piece of paper scares you? KJ, it's something in you. Break that shit.
Yeah.
You're a good man.
Yeah, you're right.
I think you should do it. Doesn't have to be fucking grandiose. You tell her, hey, you're my woman. Do whatever you want to do. I'm not trying to, if you told me, Ariana, it's not for me, then it's not for you. I am a very live and let live guy. But on this one topic, I've watched my parents go through thick and thin. When my father was unemployed, my mom was there for him. And when my mom was terminally ill, my dad was there for her. And in a lot of ways, listen, I'm a flawed man too. I do my bullshit. I get away with murder, so to speak. You know what I mean? But I chose a good woman, and I know that. That's why I put a ring on her fucking finger. I locked that shit down. You know what I mean? She should be the one who's afraid of marriage.
Yeah. It's just so much the marriage thing. What I seen within family. That's what traumatized me. That's all.
from when you say
family members within the family are traumatized, and it just what
what,
scares
divorce?
me. Yeah, that and
Staying together when they shouldn't.
Yeah,
have.
like what?
Y'all motherfuckers are already together for 13 years.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, and it's just, and they've been together for long too though, and it's just like, why y'all didn't work it out? Why didn't y'all? It's just it couldn't last, and or this had happened, or
if you guys are gonna break up,
yeah,
marriage is not gonna be what's keeping you together. You guys are gonna divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Like people put this emphasis on marriage as if like it's like I wish it was. Honestly, I wish it was this thing that you couldn't get out of because then it would put real esteem on it. Hey, we are in this now, right?
Yeah.
But for better and worse, it's something that you can always nullify and get out of. Right. All I'm saying is it'll give you a title that you should have if this is your woman and that's husband. You already have father, you already have lover, you already have leader and all these other things. Add husband to that title. It's one of my favorite titles. I'm a husband, I'm a father, you know, I'm a leader of my family.
I'm going to just say I don't believe into the marriage stuff right now.
Give me some time. I'll change your perspective into it.
Yeah,
But forgive me. Forgive me. So right. You and your girlfriend at the time, who is now the mother of your 2 children, you guys are still together.
Mm-hmm. We'll you
guys were both staying at this house.
Carrie Praise.
When was it that you finally got the, I don't know, man, the gumption to leave? How was that relationship? What was that conversation?
Mom said, hey, what are you doing way out there? Come back home. And
that's all it took?
Mm-hmm.
How many fights did you have with him, and how long did you live out there before
3 more, so I had 3, so I went 15 and 1. So,
okay.
But I still stayed with him, but I was back in the city.
Okay. So you didn't stay there too long?
I didn't stay there a year and a half almost.
Okay, a year and a half is a good amount of time.
Because he was out there where I was attending Jeff Henry and Anaconda MMA at St. Peter. So I was out there. His house was
proximity.
Around. Yeah, so the commute was very convenient. Then going all the way to the city and driving 50 minutes away. So that's how it was. So that's what made it happen, convenient. So he still stuck with me. Hey, do you want to go back? But it was a lot of turmoil that happened. So when Mom said time to come back, on the way to come back, Carrie gets mad at that.
Of course. He doesn't have the power over you anymore.
Right. And he's like...
He used to be able to tell you jump.
Yeah. Yes, sir, Dad. And then one night, it all hit the fan that night because I was leaving. And, yeah.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
You started the conversation with this Carrie guy with, like, you know, respect and all that stuff and admiration. I think it's the proper way to do it. But looking back, hindsight being 20/20, do you think he had the right intentions? Do you think he had good intentions? Or do you think he was investing in someone that he thought could be a payout?
I think he invested in someone that could be a payout.
Before he passed, did you guys have a good relationship?
It was decent.
Decent.
When I left, communication stopped.
Of course. That doesn't shock.
And the woman and the girl he was with also left too. So things were starting to go crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like, whoa.
Well, when you and him started talking, you were still training at Anaconda, right?
No.
But then so you left Anaconda?
Mm-hmm.
Where did you go after Anaconda?
I went to some couple gyms around the area around this.
Where did you land though? Like when it got time to like, this MCS. Is my gym. MCS. How old were you when you got to MCS?
20. It was called before MCS. Oh no, my mistake. Black Cobra. It's called Black Cobra. Charles Johnson, Jeremiah, Antonio Atkins.
Jeremiah Kurt, right?
No.
Jeremiah who?
It's Charles' brother. These are all brothers.
Oh, forgive me.
These are all brothers. Charles Rogers.
Suddenly Black Cobra makes sense.
Yeah. Hey, what? Yeah. So Black Cobra.
Marketing ploy and very little.
Yeah. So Black Cobra consists of Charles Rogers, Antonio Atkins, Jeremiah was the older brother of Charles.
So Jeremiah Rogers.
And me, and so forth, a couple other brothers. I forget their names.
Who was the coach?
All of us. Charles, all of them, coaching each other. Everybody had the coaching.
Not the worst
thing.
Better
coaching fighters.
Fighters coaching fighters.
Yes.
But not the worst thing.
Yes.
But it's always good to have that one, like sensei or whatever. Mm-hmm. Not even an employee, but the older guy who's out of the game, because
Yes.
I say this time and time again, I don't think you could be a good coach if you're still a fighter.
Yes.
If you fight for fun, you can still coach. Like I fight like once a year. Okay, cool. But if your goal is like, I still have my dreams, my aspirations, how are you going to tell me that you care about these guys as much as you care about yourself? There's no fucking way. There's no way. I don't believe anybody that says that.
Yeah.
That's why all the best coaches that I know had one foot out the door or were completely out of the building.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So we started like that, but then coaches started coming. Cause
No shit.
yeah. So
What do you mean? Like you
they
built
started
it, so they came.
They came. So as we were Black Cobra, here come the great Roberts, a wrestling coach. He used to wrestle. I forget his name was Robert.
Shout out Robert.
Shout out Robert. I don't
know his last name either.
He's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me. He was a wrestling coach. Then when he saw it, KP came back in the picture. Then when KP came,
Did he have a conversation with you?
all of us.
What did he
everybody.
say? Was he trying to be a coach? Was he trying to be a fighter? What was he trying to do?
Same thing. Both coach and fighter.
So you started with him, and then
he
you left him,
to
and
come.
then you're like doing this thing with your boys, and then he comes
Comes
back.
Yeah.
What was that conversation like? Yeah, what's up?
What's up? Yeah, it was very awkward.
Yeah, I fucking bet.
It was. So because
Did he apologize? Did he? No. An apology will show a lot of humility, man.
You know what I'm saying? Only thing I could say, I wish I was 115 pounds or 125.
Why?
You have to see me.
I don't blame you for thinking that way, but
I felt like this is why I say I thought differently. You had me, you gave up on me, you shut me out. You have to pay for this.
I agree.
And the only way I can ever see you is in a ring or in a cage. That's the only way I can see you.
You don't think there could have been things that he would have done outside of the arena to regain that trust? Was it that broken?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
If you wanted to restore this,
well, then
all
why is fighting you somehow going to restore this? What is it about that that's going to like
solve anything, right?
Yeah, that seems more mental than anything.
That's the way I was thinking. I'm angry right now. The only way to solve this is hash it out. 2 men, mano y mano, front of everybody. Let's get it. Let's get it on. That's what I was thinking at the time. Like, that's the only way. Because
what do you think today?
Way different.
Yeah.
Cool guy. Love and respect. It is what it is. It happened. It's a way of growth, as I told you, and a way of life.
Gotcha. But at that time, tensions were rising.
And it was a lot. Everyone was trying
high.
to, yes. So back to Black
when
Cobra.
KP forgive me, one more question on this. When Ken Porter wanted to come down, was there a conversation you also had with the other guys? Because here's the problem. No one's the head coach, so no one has like it's a democracy by virtue of no leader, right? Were you trying to tell the guys like, yo, fuck this guy?
No, I let them see for themselves.
Okay.
I let them see for themselves.
Okay.
Because they also knew KP as well too.
Okay.
They knew of him and knew him too. So they also was like, oh, he's cool. I said to y'all, okay, that's cool. Y'all have y'all perspective, I have mine. So when he's joined our team and Robert joined our team, it was another coach named Robert Nelson. I got his name right. Just the wrestling coach Rob. Sorry, Coach Rob, but you're in the picture though. So 3 coaches. So 2 coaches now, a wrestling coach and an actual coach now, teaching us Black Cobras now.
Yeah, but that also adds a different paradigm. You guys went from teaching each other. Now you got these guys coming in. They want to be the coach. Who's the one that factored themselves at the head that was leading the practices?
Robert Nelson.
Robert? Okay, so
Robert
it wasn't
Nelson.
Ken Porter.
No.
That's probably for the best at the time then.
Yeah. So back in that time, 11, 12, 13-ish.
2011, 2012, 2013.
Moving forward, I stayed consistent. I can't say
Black Cobra.
At Black Cobra. Then it stopped. I don't know where it just went cold at. It was just a bunch of brothers started coming together, and all of a sudden it stopped. It went cold. I guess everybody had different lives. People went different places.
When you say it went cold, people just stopped coming to practice?
Just stopped. Yeah, just everything started shutting down. Like gym dues wasn't getting paid. Things wasn't going where it's supposed to go. Money wasn't.
Who were people paying gym dues to?
All of us, everybody, and we didn't know.
You basically pooling money to pay for what, rent?
Yeah, rent to get in this building, right? We used to have this building. I need 50 from you, 20 from you, 25. Just to keep this going.
Yeah.
We need it.
We got to pay the lights and everything for the next month.
Keep the light on. We need design. It was days that we went in there. We didn't have no AC. We still practiced.
That actually might be good for practice.
We went in there, no electrician, no nothing. We just went in there and in the cold.
dark?
And just practice. Cut the car lights on through big old glass lights. Cut the lights on. We're practicing.
Wow.
We're getting it in. We're getting it in. I mean, straight living like straight Rocky Balboa. We getting it in. No lights, no nothing.
So then how do you get from, you know, you guys have this drive to fucking train and cold and heat.
Yes.
You have to turn on someone's car just for some
lights.
sort of ambient light.
Mm-hmm.
Then it just stops.
It just stops. And because I guess everyone.
From everyone. All at the same time?
No, not everybody. The person.
But enough people.
Yes, enough to not, okay, we can't do this anymore.
We only got 3 guys.
What are we doing? Yeah, what are we doing here? That's not going to pay enough. And I stuck it through again. Whatever I'm committed to, I stick with it. I don't give up unless you give up on me. I'm not going to give up on you because that's just me, because I was broken. And now I'm reborn and rebuilt myself on prosperity and actual genuine love. And actually, my daughter changed me.
I'm sure it did.
My son changed me. Things like that. Real meaningful things. What am I here for? What am I doing this for? Why am I doing this for? Who am I doing this for? And not only just that, this is what I want to do. So when we stopped and went cold, stopped for a couple years, here we are 2014, 2015. We still talking here and there. Some of us still stayed here and there. Guys went working lives. Some guys got married. Some guys had kids. Charles, of course. Guy had kids.
Damn, you did not need to do him that dirty. You did not need to do him that
I love you, Charles. You my boy, man.
He's like,
so,
look, we knew his pullout game sucked.
He said it himself, though. So he's like, bro. You like, bro, I'm not going to. He said, yeah. So I knew.
God.
Yeah. So he was
he said, Charles, of course.
He's got to kill me, but hey, it is what it is. He knows the truth.
That's a clip.
Yeah. So he's like, he took it as like, we were like one of those, like he was the first. I still wasn't thinking about the kids at the time. Here I am, 24, 25. I'm not thinking about kids at the time.
I often say this to all my friends that are men. I say, listen, I wasn't thinking about kids too until I met the woman.
Yep. Yeah. That's how it was. And I was, in my 30s when yes. You're absolutely
so
correct.
Like, I was in my 20s. I did what I did. I had my fun.
With my due diligence. I'm out of here.
When my would-be wife approached and entered the life.
Here we go.
All right, this makes sense.
This is, yes.
I don't see myself as a father. You haven't met the woman that
that's
you haven't met the woman that you want to have kids with.
I was too busy worrying about me at the time.
That's fair.
Me.
I was too.
It was the life of me. Because
how old were you? You were 29 when your daughter was born, right?
Yes, going to 30. She's about to be
29 when my daughter was born.
Yeah. She's 6.
Changed my life too, brother.
So she changed that. So within 6 years, so before, we'll get to that though, when she was.
But regardless, I just wanted to make sure that I understood. You had a chick. I know you're slightly older than me. You're like 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
But in terms of like when things happen in life, we had kids around the same time.
Yeah. We was on that because I seen you, the younger version, good of you.
God bless.
I'm like, this guy, it's just a name. Like, oh yeah, that's someone special at the time. I just didn't know you. I just knew of you. And everybody, and I seen you at a couple events that we were at, but we never collided.
Yeah.
I seen you at a couple of shows, we just never collided with each other. Like I said, I knew of you, just didn't know of me. You just didn't know of like what.
No, I knew of you as well, but the problem is the same thing I say to a lot of people that say like I should have certain people on the podcast. I go, I know who they are. Yeah. I don't know them enough to ask them to be on the podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a weird paradigm. Yeah. I know them, they know me. Mm-hmm. I don't know them.
Yeah.
They don't know me.
Yeah. You know. You know. So if you know me, you know me. If you don't know me, it ain't no problem to get to know me, but you know.
Yeah.
So those.
Can I say too? That's why I made this podcast this way. Mm-hmm. The nature of the conversation is like I've brought in a lot of people that I've known of.
Yes.
And didn't necessarily like. I never got to sit down and talk to them the way I got to sit down and talk with Mike Rogers. The way I got to sit down and talk with Andrew and the people that. Because I went to certain gyms, right? So, like, I knew those guys a little bit better. Mm-hmm. But there was a bunch of guys like Jared and you and I'm missing a bunch of people. I'm sorry. There's a bunch of people. Dakota Bush is one of them. Pat Smith is another one of them. Mm-hmm. I knew of them. I was around by them all the time. But when you go to these fights, it's, hey, what's going on? Shake hands, and then you bounce out. you give the respect because you know that there's like, you know, we're on the same path, we're doing the same shit. So there's like this, I know how hard you're working kind of respect. Here's my handshake.
Right.
Good to see you. Hope you're healthy.
Right.
I hope you get the next win, right?
Right.
But you never sit down and get to be like, how was your mother?
A simple
was
question. A simple
childhood like?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
What I was telling you when I was
Forgive me. So like,
yeah.
duly noted. So like, at this time, it was starting to the Black Cobras that you guys congregated based on just a common path
Brothers,
was
man,
slowly starting to rip apart. When was it that Black Cobras turned into MCS? How did that happen? Or did that happen? Was there a gym before that?
So that's like the third gym. Okay, so that's like the fourth. Yes. So now we're on 4 now.
Yeah.
So it's like MCS comes right after Black Cobra.
Okay, so after
Yes.
Black Cobra's
Yes.
basically failing. I don't want to say failing.
We went separate ways.
It's no longer sustainable.
Yeah, everybody.
So now
went,
MCS kind of comes into the picture. Does
Yes.
Jared come to you?
Yeah. No,
Do you come to Jared?
No, I didn't find Jared. I was brought to Jared with Charles Rogers. I stayed with my brothers. I stayed with.
Did Jared ever come down to Black Cobra?
Not that I know of. I didn't
Okay.
see him. I just seen him when he introduced the first time we went to a gym.
Gotcha.
And that's where things started to click and going from there
Gotcha.
with Jared. So when I came, I didn't know where they were at first because once we were all separated, we had to find each other's number. Facebook was invented now. Like, not Facebook was invented.
Damn, that's true though. People forget how hard it was to keep in touch.
Numbers changing. People forget that, like, oh, I forgot
You didn't have their landline.
We didn't have no, like, hey, can I reach you? We didn't have cell phones at the time. I would just, hey, I'll see you at the gym at this time. Everybody showed there.
Yeah.
I'll see you at so-and-so house. Everybody showed there.
Yeah.
I'll see you there. Everybody showed there. Be at KP's house. Everybody showed there. Or be at this gym right here on 367. Everybody there.
Damn, we're aging ourselves a little bit, but I remember those days too, man.
Yeah, we didn't have no actual.
When I was a little kid, this was like 09, 10. I was still in high school, but this was like cell phones were becoming. It went from like a luxury to like a common thing, but I still didn't have a cell phone at the time.
Right.
And I remember like the way I used to see what was going on was I would get up and I would go to like we had a tennis court near our house. And that's where everyone would congregate. So like if you wanted to see what everyone was doing or going to, just go to the tennis court.
Just go there.
I knew my best friend's number by heart.
Right.
That's it.
I knew one number.
I would call Anthony like, hey, I'm going to the tennis court. All right, I'll see you there. Dope. And then I would walk over there, and then the 20 other friends. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Ryan, I called my best. Ryan, where you at? Oh, we at the
the
courts.
That's crazy that you say that because I remember those fucking days. You know, our generation. I was reading an article, not to deviate, but I was reading an article that perfectly encapsulates it. Our generation is the generation that remembers what it's like to have before internet, during internet, and then everything that the internet's gonna spawn.
Yes.
And in a lot of ways, because like think I coach high school wrestling, and these kids now, 18, or the freshmen to seniors, they only know social media.
Yeah.
This is like the internet, being always connected, everybody at your fingertips. That's just, what do you mean you don't know what so-and-so is doing? You know what I mean?
You ain't got Snap? I'm like, oh my God.
Dude, I had some of them trying to add me on Snap, and that's where I drew the line.
Yeah, I did that.
Some of them follow me, because I don't have a personal Instagram anymore, just the podcast Instagram. And like they'll follow the podcast Instagram, which I'm fine with because it's like I'm not posting anything bad or anything like that. Right. But then some of them found my Snapchat and they're like, "Oh, Coach Z." I was like, "Yeah, no." Like that's where I draw the fucking line. There is nothing you need to be snapping me.
I figured you remember this is a funny joke, you know, when we back now. I used to start with a Bebo page.
A Bebo? That was back in MySpace days, dog. Well, why Bebo and not MySpace?
Because I was more of a
Bebo more like...
Yeah, it was more of my speed. Yeah. I had Incredible Hulk theme going on. I had the music going. I had little, it was just the fun into it.
I would make the argument themes. Social media was better back then.
It was truly how to really...
You could actually, like, one of the things that Facebook lost, I remember when I had a MySpace and everyone was telling me to go on Facebook. Bebo, MySpace. There was another one too, but I forget. Zeus. Yes. Yeah, like three because it was like emerging market, right? So I had a MySpace, you had a Bebo, but it was like more personal. Yes. You could set up a homepage and all this stuff.
Themes.
When I went to Facebook, because everyone was like, get a Facebook around 2000. I remember it was just a lot less fucking fun.
Man.
There was like you couldn't, you didn't have a background. You couldn't make a music on your channel. I was like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah, what is going on here? Yeah.
And then of course, 3 months into Facebook, everyone's like, yo, this new thing called Twitter. That's I remember my buddy, oh my God, I'm going to shout out Anthony Brady, who's married with a kid now. My buddy Anthony Brady goes, yo, the bitches be on Twitter.
Whoa, really? Yeah.
That's how he was trying to be like, yo, that's where I'm meeting
Twitter
girls.
is just, but Twitter is just the new Zeus too.
Dude, I would
Zeus was like the straight mingle. Are you saying mingle? Are you Zeus put me in mind of Twitter. I'm telling you.
When you got on Zeus for the very first time, did you ever in your life think that this would somehow, some way turn into, the X, Meta, TikTok that it is today?
I never thought this.
Neither did I.
I never thought it was going to be this. Whoever invested and whatever stayed with this, shout out to you because you did a hell of an investment with this.
Well, it wasn't necessarily like an investment because those companies, I mean, if you invested in Zeus or Bebo or MySpace, sorry, brother, you fucking lost your ass. Even, I mean, I guess Meta is kind of like transitioning, but I meant more like the broader sense. I never thought we would be as...
Where we're at now.
Yeah, not necessarily the connection. I always thought that communications would always get better, and by the way, they still are, right? Like, it's only going to get better from here.
Yes.
There'll be only a matter of time before you are sitting in your home, I am sitting in my home, and we're like holographically like here. Yeah. Like, it looks like we are, but not really.
What the fuck is going on?
But I never thought that the presence of economic value would be so Goliath.
It's different.
Dude, it is
really different.
It's insane, and it's insane how much it drives. I will say this about the kids at the high school. Like, I am sometimes amazed at how intelligent they are. They'll come to me with questions like, when I was in high school, I used to come to my coaches with questions like, what time is it? You know what I mean? Yeah. These kids are like, Irion, or Coach Z, are you for Palestine or Israel? I'm like, what the fuck do you guys know about this? Or they'll come up to me like, my dad got into Bitcoin, what have you? Like, the questions are just like, and I'm not doing it justice to say what they ask me. They don't ask me that way. They'll be like, we had a debate on Palestine versus Israel in school today. And I'm like, oh, that's actually... I'm glad my tax dollars are going well. You know what I mean? Or they'll be like, my dad got into Bitcoin at so-and-so money, and he's thinking about selling. What should I tell him? I go, first of all, if your dad's asking a 17-year-old about financial advice, that scares me. But anyway, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just the nature of their intelligence and how more in tune they are with, like, the fabric of reality as it exists. When I was 17, dude, I didn't know dick. I didn't know dick. I knew, like, yo, Amy's going to be at the mall at 7.
Yes, and I got to be there. Yeah. Everybody going to be at
she wants to buy an Abercrombie shirt, so I'm going to hang around there. That's what I knew. These kids are...
I was at American Eagle. I was at the Crestwood Mall. I was at Abercrombie.
I couldn't afford Abercrombie, but I knew the girls were there, so that's why
I went to the mall. I had to make sure I had to on curfew time, like being around that time. My mom said I got to be on before the street lights come on. So we all meet up. I had to catch the 91, I think the 91 or 94 Chippewa bus. Took me all the way to the mall. She knew exactly what time I needed to be on. Knew exactly what time. All right, because that used to be the every time weekend spot. Because you got everybody at school. What you going on weekend?
Is that mall the mall that you would go to? Is it still up?
Nope.
Gone. Same. The Crestwood Mall that I used to go to.
Always go down to the Tilt. That's where it was at. The Tilt game room.
The only mall that I know that has like seemed to not be affected by the times is West County Mall.
I was thinking Galleria.
Galleria too. I'll second that. Galleria too. But I think those two malls, West County, Galleria, South County, won't be around in the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Crestwood, gone already.
Gone.
Now it's like a fucking...
Jamestown, gone.
Really?
Northwood, gone. All three of the world where it was Crestwood,
retail stores, just
James, and Northwood, gone.
I'll give you another example. When we went down there today with me and my wife, Sundays are usually like the day with the family, you know what I mean? We went down to West County Mall. We got some lunch at a restaurant down in West County or whatever. Then we went to the mall. And I remember that as soon as we got to the mall, it was quickly apparent how much online shopping we're doing. Because, like, I got there and I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck.
I don't know what to get.
And then I immediately was like, lazy. I was like, fuck this. I can just buy this shit online. Like, why are we here? Like, the second we got to the mall, the very first question I had was like, why are we here? And they're like, oh, we can do mall Santa. But here's the problem. the line for Mall Santa was like, I was like, fuck that.
Yeah,
I'm not
cool.
doing that.
I'm going
Give
on
me
my
an
phone
appointment
right
time
now.
and I'll do
Yeah,
Mall
yeah,
Santa.
I'm going on my phone
but
right now.
The longer we were there, the more I realized, I was like, this is why retail's dying, slowly but surely. And kudos to the Galleria for West County for keeping it afloat and living. But you know how movie theaters have slowly upped their game? Movie theaters used to be like, how many people can we pack into this theater? And now, like, all these movie theaters now have the recliner chairs. You got like a bar in every movie theater now.
Your food right there.
They basically picked up with the times because what was happening was more and more people were like, oh, I can just stream this. Oh, I can just rent a DVD from Redbox and I can watch it and then return it the next day. You know what I mean? So the movie theaters are like, yo, we got to up our game and we got to offer more than just a movie because we're not keeping up.
We're getting outplayed.
And they did that. I'm wondering when malls will do that. I'm wondering if retailers will ever be like, yo, listen, in terms of just selling shit, we're behind.
Yeah.
So we have to offer something that's
generation.
more than just selling shit. Now I can make the argument like food court, things like that. That's a part of it.
Yeah.
I don't know what else they could do.
Maybe if they probably come together, like have like some like a
They need an attraction of some sort.
like some type of.
No, giveaways are economic.
giveaways
No, they're economic deficits.
No. Contests. How about contests?
Like, in what respect? Like
Anything. Shoes for perhaps.
Like you talking about like
Anything like how
Foot Lockers like on the main floor or whatever.
and like you have like a huge like a raffle and you just
or you do a contest of like bring in your sneakers, wear your best sneakers, and like the judges decide. I could see like some sort of like
balls.
Yeah, I could see some dude. I know Matt McElrath is like a anyway.
They have
but
sneaker balls.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know that tennis shoes or like sneakers had the market that it had. There's guys that making like seven figures
resale,
buying
Trust me,
expensive shoes and reselling them.
I have a lot of those.
Matt McElrath educated me on that, and I was just like, "Come again?"
Yes,
because he's like, "I have $700 shoes on." I was like, "No, the fuck you don't. Those are like some Nikes." Like, they're not just any Nikes.
They're not just
on.
any.
Yeah,
I got a pair of
me.
Nike ones. Like,
don't say that too loud. They're gonna come and take them. I'm talking about my wealth. I got nothing.
At first, I used to never. I didn't have it. I wasn't big. Put these loafers on. Put these. I used to just. I didn't care for real.
When did that change? When you started?
When I started really stepping into my adulteryhood, like really
making a little bit of money.
Yeah, earning what I want, and then getting what I want. Because at the age of 18, being the only boy, being the provider, and that I was paying a mortgage
with your mother.
Mm-hmm. At 18 years old.
So you were working and helping her and...
Yep. So I was growing up all before my time. I am 18, already growing up, paying a mortgage.
Did she have a conversation with you? Like, hey, I need some help?
Yeah. But it didn't go kind of like that. It didn't kind of go... It went kind of like...
Oh, you're 18 now. You a man.
And
where's rent?
Yeah. It was that.
I feel two ways about that, though. Your mother's also teaching you a lesson, though.
She is, because she was also raising me by herself.
Yeah. And to her credit, she did raise you for 18 years, and now it's time for you to start being a functioning member of this family.
She did, but...
Do you look back on that with contempt? Do you look back at that with, like, grace? How do you look back at that?
With me and Mom's?
No.
That situation?
That action specifically.
I look at that as just part of... It's like grace, like... Basically,
there's a lesson.
It is because she always like you said, you can't never stay nowhere for free.
Yeah.
And if you want something, you got to go get it. Because maybe Mom can't always get it for you. Mom can't afford these. Mom can't afford these Jordans that you want. That's $275. Mom can't afford these $150. I can't. This shirt. A $75 shirt. I can't afford that. We have bills to pay.
Yeah.
So if you want it, you go get it. If you want it, you got to go make you some money to do it. Now, if I have it, I'll be obliged to, but we have to take care of priorities first. She always taught me the value of a dime. She did teach me that. Also, she also taught me how, I should say, don't let someone dictate how my life should be ran. Don't let no one take advantage of you. Don't let no one push you over. Don't let no one, as like you said, Carrie. I was his BITC.
When you went to Carrie, what was she saying? Don't do that.
Why?
What were you saying? What was your response?
I was trying to be something. I'm trying to do something, Mom. He
And
said
you
he
thought
holds
that's
the
where
key.
it was.
Yeah, what he fed me, I fed to her.
But she wasn't buying it.
She wasn't buying it. It's something about this.
No,
I'm not
she was
liking.
older and wiser, dog.
Yeah,
She had heard that tale before.
Yeah, so she was like, there's something about this I'm not liking. And I was just like, I want to do this. All right. Me and Moms didn't have the best of, well, we're going to get to that part as we continue to talk.
Relationships are always up and down, brother.
Me and Moms, I had tough love with me and Moms. I've seen it. I've been around it. I witnessed it. I was there every step of the way with me and Moms. Good, bad, worse, absolutely horrible with Mom. I still was there with Mom. So it taught me the real value of something of my life. Like, you really have a lot on your shoulders, KJ. Like, you really have so much weight on your shoulders that where it started and how it's becoming now, it's a different process now.
Elaborate on that. You have so much weight on your shoulders?
Yeah, so this is what a lot of weight, basically. She taught me how to be an adult before I was even time to be an adult yet. Here I am, a kid, 14, 15, 16 years old, worked 17 years old. I need you to go out and get a job. I'm trying to go to school. I'm trying to, I need some. I'm like, all right. But here are these guys who she's dealing with coming in and out for a reason and not staying for a season. You get what I'm saying?
Your mother was an adult. You were a child. What she did and how she did it,
yeah,
you don't got to question her.
Yes. So, and I'm thinking like, I'm in high school still. I can't really.
How do you know anything about your mother's upbringing and her childhood? Does it start to make sense the more you know? Mm-hmm. Whenever I start to question what my parents did, now that I know, like my dad tells me stories, mm-hmm. now it all starts to make sense.
You weren't. But I want to know why though. Like, why did it have to? Why didn't you? Why weren't you? When you wanted me to change, you saw the change in something. Why you with us? Why you didn't start the change with us? Why did you? Your generation, I understand your generation was different from this generation here. Why did you put your generation over here? Like, why did I have to have the price to pay from your generation?
I think parenting is impossible.
It's impossible.
I think to do it the way we want to do it is impossible because we don't have control of all the variables. Mm-hmm. Okay? So there are going to be things that happen to you. Let's say you're my son. There are going to be things that happen to you that I'm not in control of. There are things that are going to happen to you that I am in control of. Mm-hmm. And there are going to be things that are happening to you because of me, like directly control of. And I am human. I am with sin. I am with greed. I am with all the things that I have. Mm-hmm. So I am trying in my greatest effort to create perfection as an imperfect being in an imperfect world. Mm-hmm. And I think what we try to do is, in a way, give better than we got, right? Mm-hmm. But sometimes that can be perceived as still bad because what if what we got was just so awful? Like my parents and my upbringing, I used to think I was so poor and all these other things. Then I look back at my parents and they were more poor than I was. They didn't always have a meal. I used to think that being poor was like, I can't buy an Abercrombie shirt. Mm-hmm. My belly was full. Mm-hmm. The lights never turned off.
And you had a roof.
The AC was on 12 months a year. Mm-hmm. I wasn't poor. Mm-hmm. I was poor by what I thought.
The mental aspect.
My parents, right, a completely different level of poverty in communist Albania during the Cold War. So I understand why you say and think that. Yes. But my response would be, unless you walk the miles in her shoes that she did, you just don't know, brother. We just don't know. And here's the other thing I'll say. Do you think that you're in a better trajectory in your life than your mother was? Yeah. That she succeeded as a parent? Because you will have better than she did. Mm-hmm. And that's the ultimate goal. Yeah. Do you think that your kids, where you're at now, give it, 20 years, where do you think they'll be at? Do you think they'll be better than you are today? Now, I know that that's like a loaded question because there's so many things that can happen. But I'm saying if, no life-altering mistakes or accidents happen, given the correct course of action, do you think they'll have a better life than you had? Then you will succeed as a parent. Everyone thinks that like the goal should be like, I started with $1, I got to make $1 million. No, if you had 100,000 and you end with 101,000, it was a net positive, even if it's 1%. Right. if every generation makes it 1% better,
Right.
human society grows. Because there'll be people that do more, people do worse, but equilibrium-wise,
Right.
1% better for everybody, humanity carries over.
Yes.
Your mother did everything she could with what she had, and I'm sure you already know this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And, and a lot of times during, we ask why, what the
Yes.
fuck, why would you make me pay? I'm 17. Maybe when she was 17, she had to do a lot more than you. And she was looking at you and saying, oh, he doesn't have to do half the stuff I have to do. It's okay to ask this of him because I still want to teach him a lesson as well. And then what do we get, like at what point do we get, because your daughter is 6, your son is 2. At what point do you start adding hurdles to your kids' lives to teach them how hard life can be? That's a luxury into its own.
Right.
When everything is met, you got a full belly, the house is warm, roof over your head,
clothes
you
on
got
your
good
body.
clean clothes
Yeah.
on. Well, now I'm going to start to create some hurdles. Hey, you got to wake up 15 minutes early tomorrow. Why? Because I said.
Yeah.
Now your kid's going to be like, Dad's being
Mean.
Why is he doing this? I could sleep 15 minutes more. She doesn't know.
Right.
So just like she doesn't know, you just don't know. There might be a method to that madness.
It was questions that she said that she couldn't tell me until I got older.
Yeah.
Things until I got older. And now that I am, and I see those things, and the number one question I wanted to know was like, where was my father?
Did she
Where?
ever answer?
She answered.
Is he still alive?
Yes, he's still alive.
Do you keep contact?
Nope. I'm going to tell you how. That's why I get kind of a little emotional. The day that I asked her that question, she said, sit right here, son, at the edge of the bed. I said, what's up? What's going on? You asked about your father. I'm going to tell you. I said, okay. I said, because I started seeing things and seeing everybody else got their dads, football games. I'm like, where's my... And she's like, your father told me the reason why he left is because his new relationship, which is his wife, said he does not want to have nothing to do with you anymore. Looked at me dead in my face and said the reason why your father left because his new wife did not want him to deal with you anymore. So he took upon himself and left you. So I'm looking like, are you serious? And here I am, 4 years old. Fast forward to 14 years old. I found your father. You want to go see him? Sure. He's at your great-grandmother's house, his mother's house. I said, okay, let's go. Here I am, a preteen now. 4, I didn't know nothing that, 14. Let's go. East St. Louis, right across the bridge. He's right across the bridge.
He was always that close to you.
That close to me. See how we sitting in these 2 chairs? I was in a rocking chair back and forth. His grandmother sitting right there. His mom sitting right there. My great loved me. My name by the course. My whole name by the course. Everyone doesn't know me by my full name. Everybody knows me by KJ. But at the time, she called me by my full name. She loved me. I was her baby. I was the first.
The grandmother.
The grandmother.
Of course.
I'm her first. I'm the first baby. That's my key mindset.
Yeah, you carry.
That's my key mindset.
Regardless if he acknowledges or respects it, you carry his name.
His name was different from mine.
When I say name,
yeah.
I don't mean like Jones.
Okay.
Within your blood is his name. Does that make sense? Because I have a daughter. Okay. And this is the way I look at it. When I used to say name as like my son.
Okay.
But my daughter will have kids.
Okay.
And half of that bloodline will be me.
Okay.
Half of a half because my wife.
Because she's your
I used to think of all this shit from a masculine perspective, a man's perspective. But then I had a daughter, and it switched everything.
Yeah.
And then I realized I don't care if the next generation has the name Zekthi. Because there was a generation before me that didn't have the name Zekthi. They had whatever the fuck name they had, but they culminated to me. And I like who I am.
Right.
Whatever those countless names were, God bless every single one of them.
Yeah.
So whether the next name is going to be Smith or whatever, LeVay, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Within their blood will be my blood. They're carrying on my name.
Right.
So forgive me when I say that. That's what I mean.
Okay. So we're there.
They're carrying on the blood, the
My name.
genes.
Okay, yeah. So he's there. We're there talking, and She wants to know herself. Here I am, a preteen now. She's like, this is your son. What's going on
because
here?
your grandma was like, what the fuck?
What's going on here? Why is my baby? Why you're not with him? And I see you with his 7 other brothers.
So he's there. First of all, you missed. What was it like with meeting him?
It was awkward.
Did you shake his hand?
No.
Hey, Dad. Just sup.
No, it didn't even know what's up. I'm like, who is this? Who is that?
How did you guys get this? Like, did your mom reach out to him? Forgive me,
so,
sorry.
Reached out to the grandmother and said, when I just said she said, your dad is in East St. Louis. We're going to go to his grandmother's house. So we know one person he's never going to ignore, his mom.
Yeah.
So boom, grandma.
Oh, so she was trying to like, hey, this is 10 years, 14 years on the work.
Mm-hmm. So now I want you to tell your son out of your own mouth, because he seems not to believe in me. Because at first no, wait, like, come on. I'm not a bad kid. Like, come on. I want a father. I want a father. I want a dad. Cause I see all these other guys' football games, and I want a dad. Where's my dad? And he's here. I just want a dad. Show me something that I might be mistaken on. But so we there. It wasn't nothing. It was a simple, I walk through the door, sit down, grandma's right there, her love seat right there. Remember the couch? Kimaje, you sit right here. My name is Kimaje, by the way, if no one noticed that. My real name is Kimaje Jones. That's Kemonjea. What it means a great prince. My auntie and my uncle, or my auntie and my mom named me. The sisters. 2 sisters. I have 1 auntie. Named me. So she used to always call me by my real name. I'm Kimaje. I'm her baby. I'm all that abbreviation, Kate, she wasn't on it. I'm Kimaje. He comes in, we sit down. I'm like, what we sitting down? What is this? What we doing? Having a little powwow or something? So it's like, all right, cool. Then she was like, okay, here's your son, Daryl Brown. What's your name? Daryl Brown. You my dad? Mm-hmm. What's up? None. What's up? I'm trying to figure out what we are. So his mom was like, so we play, talk like we're playing stupid now. We're playing dumb right now. Look at his face. Look at you. Look at his hands. Look at the way he look. Yeah, what's going on? And the mom like, go ahead, Kimaje, talk to your father. I said, my father?
Talk to him about what? I just met him.
I just met this dude.
Hey, how's the weather?
Tell him what you want to tell me. So my mom, she couldn't take it. She was like, Daryl, tell your son what you told me. What do you mean? What did I say? What I said? You did. So you said that. It's true. I kid you not. I sat up at the edge of the table, at the chair, looked over at him, balled my left hand up, punched him right up in his dick suckers, and said, I never want to see you again. And don't ever claim me as your son again. And I walked out the house. My mom said, and grandma was like, it's okay, grandbaby. She hugged me. I was crying. I cried. She came outside. I was crying. Like, why he don't want me? Why he don't care for me? I'm by myself. I don't know how to be a man. My mom can't teach me how to be a man. And these are questions that that she couldn't answer. She's hugging me. I'm like, I just want to go. And then, you hear him cussing. And, you mother, I should be. And my mom, she's like, you're not going to do nothing to you. You deserve it. You know. And we left. I told grandma I love her. I miss her. I call her once I calm down and everything like that. And then you can hear them arguing and yelling. Why you bring that itch over here? And now it's just so forth. And ever since then, I never seen him. And I never seen him again. Never seen him again. Never seen him again after that. Once I heard that, and mom said, there you go. There's the answers you wanted. 14 years old. Father really said that. On his side, I got 7 brothers. Never met. Here's the kicker part. I fought over at Jim Boucher's, Jim Smothers' car with Stephanie. They used to throw at the Fisher's ballroom. ballroom beatdown or something like that, I was fighting over there multiple times. I went 6-0 over there. Here I am, fighting over there on his side of town. I don't know if I'm fighting my brothers. I don't know. I'm undefeated over there. Comes in this ballroom, in this bar. That's my son. That's your son. That's KJ.
He said that after the fact.
After all these, yeah. After that's my son. Yes. Like a movie, right? Like a movie. That's my son. I'm 6-0.
That man's got some balls.
Yeah.
That man's got some.
That's
balls.
my son right there, huh? So I never told him out to this day. I seen him over there. Didn't ever have a conversation with him, but he saw me. Telling everybody, that's my son. I'm proud of my son. That's my son.
That's insane.
Crazy, right?
That's literally insane.
Crazy, right?
You have to have an amount of mental disturbed thought process to take ownership of something that you've put nothing into other than seed.
And when I first was trying to know about him at 14, here I am in my 20s, I think 29, 30s, 30, I think, tried to more years. I'm hearing about it. Grandma passes away.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Greg. She always wanted. She told me told me when you go looking for answers, it may be the ones you would like to find out, or you don't want to find out. But if you want to know, it's on you to how you going to handle it. Basically, how you going to handle it. When you want to go finding answers, when you're going to go find something, how are you going to handle it? Say for it's like you're going through a phone, right? You're going to find something there that you don't. Why I just go through the phone? Are you going to accept it? Are you going to be a type? You have to accept.
You'll find the answers, but it might not be what you want to see.
There it is. Yes. Thank you.
But you'll find the answers.
But you'll find the answers. And
when he was at these shows, kind of claiming you as his own, was this something that
One
you
show.
found out?
One show.
Or a show? Was this something that you found out after the fact?
After.
During?
After.
Did you see him? You see, obviously, if you found
tried
out
to
after.
take pictures with me.
So you saw him there.
Tried to take pictures with the belt.
What did you say to him?
Shit, who was you?
What did he say?
I'm your. Well, you gonna talk to your daddy like that?
Wow.
I don't know you.
Wow.
That's one thing I
Balls
never.
on that man.
Yeah.
Wow.
My first belt.
You know what's so wholesome about your request of like, I just want a dad? I think a lot of times, men, when they don't take ownership or responsibility of what it is that they've done, the most common thing I hear is the financial aspect of it. And we said this off the record, but I'll say it on the record. It's like when I'm 80 years old and I'm like looking back, I'm not looking back at the money I spent. I want to have more children because these are going to be the things that I leave behind. It's not going to be businesses. It's not going to be houses. It's not going to be wealth. It's going to be my kids and how they inherit whatever the fuck it is that I leave behind in terms of financial. They are what I'm leaving behind.
Yes.
They are my legacy.
Yes.
They're the greatest crowning achievement I have.
All caps, by the way. Legacy.
And I want to ask a question, but there is no right way to ask it. And I'm going to...
Shoot for it, man.
Listen, we're about to get into cancelable shit.
Okay. Yeah.
This is not a problem isolated with the black community.
Yeah.
But why do you think the black community has such a problem with fatherless homes? Now, that's a loaded question. That's like a historical thing. That's a cultural thing. That's a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
But if you could, if you think to me, was this an isolated individual who just did not want to take ownership of his own actions? Or did you think that this was like some sort of macro, some sort of bigger issue that was kind of happening? Because obviously, this guy can take responsibility when he wants to. He's got 7 other kids or whatever the fuck. He's got a wife. So, what the fuck?
Where I'm at, and I was the firstborn. I'm the firstborn. I'm the firstborn.
You know, I have. This is the first time I've ever said this, that I feel bad saying it. We all get what we deserve when we see the pearly gates. When it's all said and done. When it's law laid to bear, we all get what we deserve. That's what I'll say about that. I'm sorry for him.
Yeah. And that's why I thought, truly sorry for you. I couldn't love someone that I don't know. I couldn't even show love when something had happened. I couldn't even show love. When I found out something had happened to him, my uncle, which is his brother, told me. He worked at the SLU hospital, I think. He kept in touch with me. His brother kept more in touch with me. He told me what was up with him. I said, I don't care. But it was just the irony of certain things that how I was brought up, E. Like I had...
Were a lot of guys and girls around your age, around your neighborhood in the same predicament, or was this isolated to you?
No,
Meaning, did a lot of them have two-parent households, and you were the single one out, or was this more like common?
It was a mixture.
So some people didn't, some people did.
Some had their dads, no mom.
Some people had moms, no dads.
No dad,
some people had both.
Mom, yeah, and dad.
How did that intertwine in the paradigm of when you were little? Like Mother's Day rolls around. Mm-hmm. Are you guys very cognizant of the people that don't have moms? Father's Day rolls around. Are people more cognizant of you?
It's mom. Mom on Mother's and Father's.
Yeah.
That was for me. Mom, happy Mother's Day.
Father's Day? Happy Father's Day, Mom.
That's it. That's all it was.
Like, I'm saying more for like the other kids. Like, were you cognizant of the kids that didn't have moms?
Yeah.
So like when you're sitting here talking about your mom,
mm-hmm.
suddenly a kid comes around, he doesn't have a mom.
Yeah.
Would you shut up?
Dad? No.
You still talked about your mom.
Mm-hmm. No, I feel like it'll be, I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable, like, something that don't have a mom, because I'm also going through that with a nephew. He doesn't have a mom. RIP to my sister. We was going to get to that. I have a lot. I'm telling you, I have a lot. I have a lot in this storyline here.
I'm sorry.
I have a lot in this storyline here. And I'm just thankful that you give me the opportunity to finally get this out and just revamping me of that. I'm dealing with a nephew that doesn't have a mom, who witnessed his mom die.
How old?
Who was there when his mom died.
How old is?
5. And guess how old my daughter is?
2? 6.
See what I'm saying?
Oh my God. Sorry for your loss.
And she's tatted on my back, big as day.
What happened, if you don't mind me asking?
Coming home from school. She was attending veteran nursing. She was going to be a school for a nurse. She was supposed to meet up with a friend to grab some money for my nephew for school supplies. Ended up not making it home, back home. That night, something at wrong place, wrong time. Stolen truck, SUV with 4 criminals in it. Drive-by shooting. Caught my sister 3 times. Hit my sister here, stomach, and the one that deceased her was the leg, the main
femoral artery.
Yes.
Tim Jackson has no idea how lucky he is to be alive. When he was telling me that story about the femoral artery, I was like, brother, that's the widowmaker.
That one bullet. And not only that, I could have had a triple whammy that night when I found out that night. My nephew was there, my baby sister was there, and my oldest sister.
In that car?
Yeah, all there. My mom could have had only, to this day, she would only been had right now, if Lord would, but she would have been only with 2 kids. All because stupid MFers want to do stupid things on stupid nights. For one, you're in a stolen vehicle. For 2, you see a party going on and you want to go shoot up a party. So in the midst of that party, two fatal. Didn't have nothing to do with anything. So my nephew deals with that now every day, and now he's 14 now. You get my drift now, you see where I'm following now? The same age as I was when I didn't have a father. He's 14 now.
Is his father in the picture?
No. See what I'm saying? See the pattern here? And guess where his father's at? In St. Louis. In football programs. Around where he can see him at. And don't have no type of nothing.
I had this conversation with Elizabeth Helton, who works as a troubled youth. She works with troubled youth with drug addiction and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And she was talking about how like parents choose to leave their my kid can't come home, And my political views are very conservative when it comes to government. I want smaller government. But one of the things that I'm realizing is becoming an issue is our negligence when it comes to parenting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you drive a car negligently or under the influence or whatever, there's repercussions.
Yes.
If I have a firearm, I have the right to that firearm. But if I use it with negligence or with misuse, there are consequences.
Yes.
However, I could just totally neglect the life that I'm bringing into this world, and there are no consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing that some men will go to is like, oh, child support and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Listen, the plight of men is very real to me. I understand that in that case, the justice system is not fair.
Right.
I get that. I get it. Go join any red pill community that you want. They'll give that to you. But what I am saying is, there needs to be some sort of corrective action.
Yeah.
For you cannot just forego your responsibilities as a parent. And that's so crazy to me. Because when my daughter was born, or when my wife was even pregnant, she wasn't even my wife at the time. She was just my fiance.
Yeah.
She's like freaking out. She's like, I'm pregnant. I was like, hey, cool. Yeah, there's a hierarchy to these things, but whatever. Like, it's a blessing. God bless. Not once did I ever think, like, I'm worried, I'm this, I'm that. It's like, yeah, this is what happens when you have sex and you're having fun.
Facts. Because that's, you're not.
KJ, I respect my responsibility. I know what's on my shoulders, and I don't. And I try, whenever people differ with me in terms of thinking, I try to put myself in their perspective. I try to think like, you know, why do they think differently than me? Why do they vote differently than me? Why do they live differently than me? I understand why you live the way you do because of your perspective, whatever. But this, I don't get. There's no logical explanation for creating life and then omitting the fact that you have responsibility to it. There's no good justification, and I don't respect any sort of argument against it. Oh, well, I have a wife and kids. Why the fuck were you fucking around on your wife and having kids then? Or at the very least, why were you fucking around with your wife and having kids and then you weren't financially well off to support those kids? You want to play? Play. Work your ass off. Work hard, play hard. I'm with that shit. Like, if you want to have multiple families and all this other stuff, I'm not trying to say the moral high ground here. I'm talking about responsibility. If you want to have 5 different fucking families as a man, you better have the money to bring in 5 different fucking families and take on that financial burden. I'm not going to tell you that you need to be married to one woman. I'm not that guy. I'm with my own sins, right? But what I am saying is, if you're going to take on that responsibility, if you're going to take on that fun, you now have a responsibility for what might happen from that.
Right.
You can't put all that on the woman. God bless that your mom still wanted to have you. God bless that your mom had the 3 other kids. So, like, there's 2 ways to look at this. Like, what happened, happened. But now it's like, what's happening? That's in the past. What about today?
2024.
This life. What are we doing about this life? By the way, this life is a direct correlation and connection to you, your bloodline, your name. KJ's going to have kids. His kids are going to have kids. You're starting something here that's bigger than yourself, my man.
Yeah. That's why I said
Get
it wasn't.
over yourself.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you, like, why is this? And this is not isolated to black people. This is not isolated to Americans. This is not isolated. I don't know why more and more men are foregoing this responsibility.
Back.
Yeah, and we're back. I'm going to kind of add to that question, though, because I asked you, like, why men are no longer kind of accepting the responsibility of fatherhood. But I'm going to piggyback that with, you did. At any moment, you could have walked away. You're not tied in any way, right? We've already established that there's no repercussions for men that don't want to take on that responsibility. But you chose to. And by the way, there's another thing I said with Lucas Clay. Lucas Clay was young, and he had kids. And he was like, I love you, let's multiply. God bless. You had children with your lady. God bless. Yeah. Like, what's the factor in that? Did you not having a father play into that? In a positive way, not a negative one.
It played a straight positive way because it showed that what I was doing consequences and responsibility was bound to happen.
Of course.
Because we're doing something that's going to be bound to happen.
It's only a matter of time.
It's only a matter of time. You just don't know when.
Yeah. My wife was on the pill. For all those that are like,
okay,
my wife was on the pill.
Yeah. See, we talked about it. She got off the pill.
Okay, so you guys knew what you were doing.
Playing. Yeah, we knew what we were doing.
God bless.
I was becoming something that I said when we talk and have our daily walks and look at the stars and just talk like, what do you want to become as this happened? And she was the top architect in her firm, which means, speaking of that, she was one of the developers who developed the IKEA building. The IKEA building for
your lady is she's smart.
So yeah, and we was
God
like,
bless.
yes. So she was.
That's funny. Your wife, your partner is a architect. My partner's an engineer.
Yeah.
Funny how that works.
And she also went to college for engineer. She got her degree in engineering too. So she the architect and engineer. So she used to work for the top company, Terracon.
Boy, how did you keep her?
Well, you know what they say. You know, blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
No, I think women know what I blacker the berry, sweeter. Well, sir, I will have you know that as a Caucasian man from the mountains of Caucasus.
Yeah. So, but no,
I think women know what they're.
Yeah.
Like men, we have the luxury of like whatever. Mm-hmm. Women really have to decide who they're putting their time into.
Yes.
She saw something in you, brother.
Yes.
She saw something in you. You may have not even seen it in yourself.
She did, and she, you know, and
blacker the berry, sweet.
Hey.
He said, "Ask my lady."
hey. So our daughter was planned.
God bless.
We planned things when it's planned. Things when it's as directly as we wanted to. Things was looking on the up and up. She.
What did your mother say? Out of curiosity,
she was about time. About time. Cause you was the last. You was the last. You weren't even talking about kids. You wasn't even about time. You wasn't even. I'm like, yeah.
She was shooting for it, brother.
She was shooting. And she's shooting for more. And I'm like, okay, Ma.
Good.
And it's like
you don't want any more. Just 2.
It's 2.
Why?
I got the both worlds.
Boy and the girl.
I got it. 2 tries. That's all it took me.
What does your lady say? Does she want more? Are you guys in agreement with this?
We talked. She said if it was a time, if it's meant to be, she said. But now she's back on the pill now. So
brother, let me tell you.
Yeah.
That is 95% effective.
Yeah. So she had, you know, so we talk and we have those serious conversations.
If it happens, God bless, but it's not something we're shooting for.
Yeah.
So it's 2 for now, but
that's what she said. If it comes in long, but yeah, we're sure. So it was like one of those. She was really our daughter. It was like it's a blessing. Like how you were so stoked, so happy. I'm at work one day. Really, this is funny. I'm at work one day, just working my ass off, working. I'm a father, and she goes to find out. Calls my phone at exactly in the when I'm at work. When I say I'm in the warehouse, cheering up and down, throwing tools. I'm like, hell yeah. I'm happy. She's like, you're excited? I'm like, I'm very excited. I'm stoked for this. I've been waiting for this. This is what happens when I'm finna show the world. I'm finna show what it means to like when you create something. This is what you're supposed to do. It take 2 to tango. It took me to stick my beef in your taco.
Oh my God. For those of you who don't know how kids are made.
Yeah. My beef and your taco. And I'm with it. And I'm willing to go ahead to do what I need to do to take care of her. And when we found out, I teared up. I cried. My boss at the time, he said, you know what? Go ahead. Go to the hospital with her. Go enjoy it. And he said, go ahead. Go live it up. Go. I said, man, thank you so much. I was so happy I could meet her at the place. I got the picture to this day in my phone. I put it in my memorial, in my memorial, in my journal. And when my daughter will be here, and she tested positive that she was pregnant. I was so happy. My daughter, Kimasia DeJay Jones.
When you found out that you were going to be a father.
Yes.
Obviously, this was the designated outcome because you guys had the conversation beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, this was like a conversation that you had with yourself internally. Like, what kind of father am I going to be?
Yes.
Walk me through that because we've discussed earlier that you know, in those formative years, you didn't have that father figure to kind of show you,
Show
you either the right way to do it or the wrong way to do it, right?
Yeah,
like, I'm not going to do it like him, or I am going to do it like him.
So it was a lot of that time frame. I was around guys, fathers, who I looked at that had potential that I could call a father because how they stepped up to help me. Like, there's one, my best friend, shout out Leon King. His father, Mr. Leon, was one of those type of fathers who
I took you under his wing.
Mm-hmm. He had boys, and he was there for his boys. Me and his son was on the same football team. He took me as his friend, and me and his son became best friends. And he was like, "That's my son too. That's my son too." So the energy and the love and the caring, and when he took me in, and not even knowing like who I am and what I was, it just took me like, yeah, and how I was to him, to his son, and to him. That's my son too.
God bless.
Mr. Leon, shout out to you, Mr. Leon King. And he was just, he's still here to this day. You know, we don't talk every day. Me and his son still talk from here. And he just moved back here. He's called Swole Patrol. Big, huge guy, cop. He's a cop. He's a big, huge guy. His son is huge, Leon King. And it just took, it motivated me from learning from him. This is what happens when you have children. This is what's supposed to happen when you sacrifice things the way when you put yourself in a predicament to take care of a huge responsibility of a kid, another heart, other than your own.
I hate to say it this way, but that's not what your father's problem was. Your father had a wife and 7 kids. It's not as if he had an issue with responsibility.
He did something because she said so. She did something because he said, my wife said, I shouldn't have nothing to do with you. So because she said something, you abandoned your first child. So because
I'll tell you what it was.
I'll tell you
what it was. She put him in that predicament where she was like, if you can either have kids with her or you can have kids with me. And he chose her. But what he should have done, there's a bunch of shit that he should have done.
Come on now, talk to me now.
First of all, he should have had the conversation with his wife if he was going to go outside of his marriage.
Come on now.
Be a man if you're going to be a man.
Come on now.
Second, if you're going to have that, you need to mentally prepare for what that entails. Like I said earlier, if you don't want to take on the responsibility of the father, you should still take on the responsibility that everything that the fatherhood entails. Nurturing, upbringing, all these other things.
Yes.
If you're not going to be there every day,
yes,
you better make sure they have everything they need every day. And you have to at least make sure you're there for the things that are important. The football games, the shit like that.
Man.
And then have the honest conversation when they're older.
Yep.
Hey,
let's talk.
When I was young, I stepped outside of my marriage and I had you. Now I either could have gotten rid of you or I could have neither been here for you. And I wasn't the father that you should have had, but I at least wanted to be a father that you could have. These are all acceptable things in my opinion. All of these are acceptable things. But what he chose was none of these things.
Nothing.
And he chose to like step away from that responsibility.
Just walk away.
And the craziest part of that is like the psychology. This is why I called it insanity before, because it's like, how can you sit there and look at your kids? Like, so you got 7 kids, right, with your wife,
or whoever. Sure, I just know I was.
He's got 7 kids.
He got 7. Yeah.
You're not fucking shooting blanks, brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop going to the shooting range. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're taking responsibility for some, but not others. The insanity that has to take, because let me put it this way: I'm very like pro-abortion in the sense that like I don't think the government should have any say into your body, whether it's the COVID vaccine or abortion, uniform. But I'm not for abortion. Like I would never want my wife to have an abortion, or if I ever got any girl pregnant ever in my life, I wouldn't want them to have an abortion. That's my kid. I know what the fuck I'm doing. You know what I mean? Now, does that mean that I have the final say and all that stuff? No, but what I am saying is like, I never want to kill a kid. I never want to kill a kid for any circumstances.
Right.
I got that even more after I had my daughter. But what I got with that also was like what that means to be a father, right? Time, commitment, financial and emotional energy, all these other things that come with being a man, being a father, that responsibility. I don't understand how he can feel that with some kids and not with others. There's an insanity to that. I don't mean this as an insult to your father, but what I am saying is there is something wrong with him. There is something wrong with him mentally. There's no way you can. There's no fucking way you can just seclude that. You know what it's like to have kids. You understand the you understand the responsibility, the affirmation you get from. Well, you got another kid out there who's not getting any of these things.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with you, my man.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with you.
I don't even know if I'm
And you might not even be the only one. You might not even be the only one.
Yeah.
Based on what you've said.
Yeah.
There's something. And I'm sorry for saying it this way. There's something wrong with him. Yeah. Forgive me. I know that's your father.
It is. I don't know who he is. He ain't my father.
I don't think he knows who he is.
I don't think he know who I am. I don't think he know what I've become.
I hope he finds this.
I hope he
finds
and
this.
I hope you see it. Daryl Brown, I hope you see it.
Find him on Facebook and share it to his page.
Something like that. Whatever it is. And I felt with bringing this in, being around guys that had their fathers, it motivated me to know how I was going to be and more with my children. And it showed me that I can do this. Let me show you. Let me show you how. And y'all making this a big deal. This is not hard. This is not hard. I love being a father. When I walk through that door, Daddy, were you okay, Daddy? I got hurt one day at practice one day. Shout out Montreal James. I got hurt one day. My daughter comes at me, Daddy, what happened? You let someone elbow me? You tell me the name right now. I go get them right now. My daughter literally says that. I'm like, it's okay, daughter. Daddy handle it. No, I don't think you did, Dad. I go handle itself because he hurt you, and I don't want to see my daddy hurt. I say, it's okay, baby. Daddy's okay. I'm here. Okay. If you okay, Daddy, I'm okay.
Yes.
So he's like, and my son's right there. And like, okay, I'm gonna hold on, let Daddy clean himself up, and I got you. So it's just the love that I created these seeds. I planted something, and it grew so strong, so healthy.
Brother, it's better than you.
Yes, it's way
better than you.
And it shows me that I am really something, a product of my a product of my own destiny, my own legacy. This is me. Not saying like
what do you think matters more, nature or nurture?
Nurture.
I agree.
Nurture.
I think nature makes nurture.
It makes it because,
better or worse.
Yeah, I have to take because I women, like you spoke on the women with the 40 hours and 50 hours. So with the women are natural nurturers. So I believe in the women are the natural nurturers of it. So with the bond between a son and mother, it's different between a father and son.
Preach.
So a daughter and a father and daughter bond hits different between a father and son.
I want to be the reflection of the man I want her to have.
Yes.
That's the responsibility.
I told myself, and that's a good one too. I told myself I want to have her to rehab the best version of me in my 30s than my teens and 20s.
Yeah.
Because in my younger ages, I was fucking like a jackrabbit.
It's not even about fucking. It's more about the kind of guy you were.
I was.
Listen, brother, I'm still fucking like a jackrabbit. But I'm a different guy.
Yes. Because at times I need a little, you know what I'm saying, 4 quarter pressure, and I need to go ahead and take a halftime break. But then I'm back at it, though. We got 4 quarters to get this done. But I just want her to see that Daddy, when all fails.
His business.
Yes, and when all fails, Daddy is here for you, for both of you, my daughter and my son.
What was it like when the son was born in contrast to the daughter being born?
So when okay, now we getting there. The son.
I know we're kind of going around. I'm
just
asking
okay.
the questions that come to mind.
And the son.
Also planned?
Nope.
Ah! On
That's
the pill?
What I said. Nope.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If they're not on the pill, brother, that's planned.
You're
playing with fire.
I was.
You're playing with fire.
I was.
You're not on the pill?
No.
How's the pullout game? 100%?
It was. Listen.
Was it though?
Yes.
Was it though? You playing with fire.
Yeah, I was. But she's like, she didn't.
Black of the berry, sweet of the fruit.
So yeah, it was. And it was like, she said she didn't know. And I'm like, and she started feeling weird. And I'm like, whoa.
Oh, she wasn't
She didn't know. She
yeah.
wasn't expecting. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And that time I was in training and she was getting ready for my birthday, and we were out celebrating my birthday, and I'm like, what's wrong? She was like, I'm not feeling too. I'm like, oh, what's going on?
Like physically.
Yeah, she's like, whoa, I'm feeling a little queasy, a little. I'm like, oh, you okay? You all right? On my birthday, she wants me to enjoy myself, of course, but me, my attention span, like, you good? You all right? You straight? I'm going laser focus. I'm snapping into what? You good? You straight? You all right? Right? You all right? I'm cutting it. Drop everything. What's up? You good? So yeah, it's like no.
I can't have fun if we're not having fun.
Yeah. So it's boom. She's like, no, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay. So when we found out, so she went. And she said, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go get a test. I'm like, okay, yeah, you do that. Cause I want to find. Let me know. Same impression, everything. She said, yep. Doctor told me I'm 3 weeks. I said,
it hit different, right?
It hit different.
Because you weren't planning for it.
And this is where, whoa, here we go. And you know that look that women give you. Well,
they're looking to you now. Like, what are we doing?
She instantly look at like.
What were you thinking in your head immediately?
Wow.
Oh my God, another one like financial and all that stuff.
Wow.
God bless.
That's two. That's two.
That's
two for two.
That's why you should have it. That's why you should.
Oh, yeah. Because I remind you, she was a top architect in her firm, and I just working. I was balls to the wall. 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours. I was 12 hours shit. I was busting my ass, and still making it to the gym.
So you're saying that there was a lot of professional, like you were working and also trying to make fighting happen.
Yes.
She was carrying her career, and you were like, you already have one. Can you handle the second?
Mm-hmm. And I took it at, I didn't show her that there couldn't be a stable, like we couldn't do this.
We figured it out.
We figured it out.
And
we got it going. Now, the only way we couldn't figure it out if we stopped. The only way we got wearing if we stopped. If I just stopped.
What do you mean when you say stopped?
Just stopped complete. I don't want to work. I don't need no money. Let it all on you. You go ahead. You just do. No.
You can't do that.
We were two go-getters. Two ambition go-getters.
Meaning you guys are now having the conversation of like, should there be a stay-at-home parent?
Yeah.
And so both of you were like, well, I'm not doing it. And you were like, well, I'm not doing it.
But then it came into two, like, you know what? I'll sacrifice. I'll be the man to sacrifice. That's my job. You go ahead. You finish. You do what you have to do. I'll do it.
So did you quit your job in order to rear the children?
No, I didn't quit. I found a better job closer, and I found something that was more convenient for
sustainable for what you needed
to do.
So basically what you're saying is like you're like, listen, I will take on the responsibility of like facilitating the logistics
of the kids.
Of how we're going to make this happen. Mm-hmm. You pursue what you're doing. It's your goal, your aspiration.
Yes.
Let me handle this part.
Yes. I handled the part
God bless.
Yes. So, and that's what comes from learning from responsible, respectful, loving fathers, Mr. King, and other fathers who mold that in me. You create it, you take care of it. You make it.
Making a kid is just the start of the responsibility.
That's it. But when it comes out, when he or she comes out, it's over. It's on.
Can we talk briefly about, because you just talked about like when it comes out, can you, watching my wife through pregnancy, before my wife got pregnant, I was like, bitch, how hard is that shit? Come on.
Yeah.
You carrying a baby, and you got to breastfeed a little bit, but
you knocked her up for 9 months.
Then, when I saw my wife go through it, I was like,
man, salute you.
I ain't doing that shit.
Salute you. I'm in that doctor chair. I'm in the overnight chair. I'm posted. Dude, we in the hospital.
When the nurses ask you if you're okay, you're like, don't act like, is she okay?
She has the epidural when I'm in the chair.
Did you see the size of that fucking needle?
Yes.
Dude,
yes.
When I
the epidural,
nothing made me like lightheaded. So like I saw my wife give birth. I was there for all of it.
Yes.
The thing that got me the most was when the fucking doctor was like, "This is the epidural." I go, "There's no, yes, you're not doing that justice. You're not doing that, man. Bro." I was like, hold up.
You finna stick that?
You're that in her back? What?
Yes.
And he's like, yeah. I was like,
she's in pain, bro.
I go, dude, that doesn't even make geometric sense.
Man.
You're now in her guts.
Yes.
Like, that needle could be half the size it is.
Yes, bro. She's
dude,
like,
and when they were putting it in, I was like, oh. I was in for all of it, right?
Yes.
If there was ever a moment where I was like, I need to step out, it was the epidural, not the birth.
Yes.
The epidural, I was like, don't fuck this up. Don't fuck this up.
You better not move.
Don't fuck this up.
You better not hurt her.
I said, baby, you better take this like you took me. Because that needle's bigger.
You're not gonna put me to shame. You better not put me to shame.
Dude, no. Fucking
Yes,
watching
bro.
her give
She
birth.
said, yes.
There have
bro.
been so many humbling things in my life, but
that
none
needle. Man.
so much as my wife giving birth.
Man.
Before my wife gave birth, she used to come home. I was like, fucking daddy's home.
Yeah.
My wife gave birth, and I am never in my life putting anything in bigger than what's come out.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, yo,
Okay.
you
Yeah.
tired from work or you good?
Yeah.
Now I'm like,
she was.
oh, do you need some wine? Like,
And the thing is, with
I'm just happy to be here.
yeah, with mine, she don't like needles, and that was the killer part.
Oh.
She don't even like needles. She doesn't like needles. She doesn't like.
Did she get the epidural?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when
my
they
wife
sat-
tried not to.
She said it was hurting her. She had to, and I'm like, "Man, you going?" She's like, "Look," and she got it. I'm like, "Sit up straight." I'm guiding her. I'm like, "Sit up straight. Don't move." I'm like, "You telling her don't move? Don't you move it? Don't you make a mistake?" And when he
Stop. Stop. You bring me back.
He stuck her.
It's the only time another man's penetrated my wife.
Yeah.
That I know of.
And that's all I just looked at, okay, boom. But yeah, the birth was easy. Oh, you want to cut this? Oh, no problem. Sure.
Yeah, that
sure.
shit was, because that's like
I'm looking like, hey, oh, snap, his head is huge. Oh, okay.
I was
her head-
cracking jokes. My wife almost kicked me out.
She was
they were like, push. I was like, pull. And she's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Tell me all this.
Yeah. It felt so amazing though, kids. It was a blessed thing. Here come the new life, what we created. Here goes something that I actually
The best thing you'll ever
and
do.
I looked at him, came out. She came out. I named my daughter.
What?
Kimijah Deja Jones.
Okay.
So that's my princess. My son's the prince. I'm the king now.
Ooh. Shit.
They all have my initials. KDJ.
That's
KDJ.
hilarious. I got the title of dumbass now. I was the man. Now I'm dad.
Yeah. I'm the man. So it was and it also a humbling experience.
So your daughter's slightly older than mine. I'm going to ask you a question about fathering, actually. How do you deal with discipline for your daughter? Because I find that is the hardest part for me. It's not the fact that, like, you know, Adriana is so adorable that, like, everyone wants to give her everything she wants.
Yes.
And sometimes I have to be the bad guy because I see where she's playing the game. She's a smart girl. She's like, oh, I could play these people like a fiddle. I want chocolate at 8 o'clock. I'm like, no, the fuck you not.
No, you're not.
And my
You
wife
ain't
was
finna
like,
jump
well,
off
she
the
just
wall.
wants some ice cream. I go, not at 8 o'clock. She's
not
not
at
having
8 o'clock,
First
she's
of all,
not.
she should already be in bed.
That sugar rush ain't finna get me if it keep me
So
up.
in a lot of ways, I'm like the only person that has any discipline in that life because like I'm like,
You're the disciplinarian.
how do you do that? I don't want to get to the point where I have to spank her, and God bless, I haven't had to yet. But I'm telling you right now, dog, she's 2 years and 3 months, and she tested me today. She goes, she took my hand and she's like, "Go away, daddy," and I was like, "Bitch, you are out of your mind."
Yeah, so
You would not. I was about to pull a dad like you would not be here. Oh my God! Now I sound like my father.
Yeah. I brought you in this world.
Take you out.
Yeah. So it came to the point of you.
I trained with Dan O'Connor.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to fight a kid.
Yeah. You going through the terrible two stage right now. You going through the terrible.
Yeah, but
stage.
why? Like when they say terrible twos, I look at that as a challenge. Like they don't have to be terrible.
It doesn't, but it's just a meaningful.
Because they're
how
getting fucking smart and they realize they can like,
pick
if I cry, you'll do whatever I want. Like, bitch, you're not crying.
Yes. So how I do it is with Kimijah and Kai. That's their names, by the way, my babies. Kimijah, she's the big sister. So Kimijah's a Gemini. Her birthday is in May. So Kimijah, what I do with Kimijah gets, Mijah for short, Mijah gets the dad and the serious dad, the tone.
Yeah.
First, when I'm seeing that you're playing and disobeying my tone, the happy dad, when I'm telling you, you're going to get mean dad.
Yeah.
And when I keep telling you, like my mom was hard head, make a soft ass. And that's what I go by. So
right.
Therefore, I told you once, I told you twice. I'm not going to tell you a third time.
Have you ever had to tell them a third time?
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
And that's where it comes. That's what I'm getting
Do
at.
you spank?
I don't spank. I'm a drill sergeant. I'm going to break you. Get in that corner and put your arms in the air. and don't put them down unless I tell you to. So how many times I told you to stop doing something? Your hands will be up. Your arms will be out. Stand straight up. Oh, Daddy, my legs hurt. I know. My voice hurt for telling you too many times. Now, if it gets to the point, oh, well, she's just going crazy with that because I'm teaching you the lesson of obedience. I rather do it than out there do it. I rather be the one to know my daughter because I know than someone else out there do it.
Yeah, I agree.
So what I do is I give her those I don't give her an ultimatum of, oh, well, what do you think I should do? No. I said.
Yes.
I said this. And then you try to go tell, mom, I don't care what mom said. Did you hear what I said? Stop doing that.
Yeah.
Well, why is she in the corner so long? Because I said so. So it's like basically I'm showing her that daddy is not
it's the dominance factor.
Not the, yes,
it's the dominance
that's
factor.
Mom's the nurture. Dad is the drill. So
I'm doing something similar.
Uh-huh.
When I was little, dude, my parents used to go at me. You know
Crazy.
what I mean? But also, I was a little shit of a child. Definitely deserved it.
Yeah.
Hard head, I had a soft ass.
Yes.
But if I would have had a son, I guarantee you I would have already spanked. 100%.
Oh, yeah. He.
But because I had a daughter first, I thought to myself,
yes. No, I can't.
What does my daughter have to do for me to put my hands on her? You know what I mean?
Really get to you? She has to really get underneath that skin.
No, not even that. It has to be, she needs to be cognizant of what she's doing.
Yeah.
So right now, she's like 2 years old. Too little. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what happens if she gets 4? What happens, by the way, I do something very similar. I'm also like good dad.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, hey!
Yeah.
10 times out of 10.
Uh-huh.
Sorry for everyone listening. There go your eardrums. 10 times out of 10, the dog, the cat, and my wife and my daughter's all like,
well, yeah.
because I never yell.
Yeah.
I never get stern. I'm very chill dad. You know what I mean? When I get stern, it's like, now you have my attention. Listen to every word I say. Time out right now works.
Yeah.
She goes in her corner. I go, time out. She cries. And I'm like, when you stop crying, we'll get out of timeout. Because like now she's getting to the phase where she's like, you know, oh my gosh, Dad's sad. I think she starts crying because she knows that I'm mad.
Yeah.
She's not even crying that she's getting punished. She's like, oh my God,
You're
Dad's mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, when you stop crying,
Yeah.
timeout's over.
Yes.
And then like it takes her like sometimes like 10, 15, 20 minutes. I'm like, damn,
Yes.
I was just trying to put you in timeout for like 2 minutes.
Yes.
Like,
I literally have, like, it's funny you say that. I have a video of my daughter crying.
in timeout?
No, because she made me mad.
Oh, she's just like, yeah.
I really have that on my phone.
Is your daughter more like your wife? Or sorry, is your daughter more like your partner or you?
Me.
Okay.
She's me.
What does
for
that mean?
Sure.
What does that mean?
She's daddy's girl for sure.
Okay. My daughter
She's
is
daddy's girl for sure.
My daughter is exactly like me, and when I tell you that is
the
biggest pain in my ass.
Man, I'm telling you, the son though, mama's boy.
Really?
Mama's boy. Mama's boy.
Is
What I
he
tell you.
easier?
No, he's more of her than him. Mine is what I just go straight to mommy. And she, oh, come here, baby. Come here. Don't yell at me. Hey. You making him soft.
Have you
right
ever
now.
had the conversation with your partner about the direction of parenting? Because I've had to have like a couple of that.
I
with
did.
my
Yes,
wife.
we have those talks. We have what we call it a midday talk. We have like a middle of the week. We sit down at our couch and we sit down and have these talks. And what we do is we get like an understanding of direction of about the kids, talking, doing, and for them to see, because you know kids nowadays can pick up what they see and stuff like that.
I've had conversations with my wife, and they go along the lines of like, listen, you will be there for 95% of the decisions. 95% of them I'm giving to you.
Right.
When I raise my voice, when I grab her to put her in timeout, I don't want you to say a fucking thing.
Please.
Because I don't say a fucking thing for 95% of the choices. Because sometimes I'll discipline her, and she's like, she's just a baby. And I get more angry at that because I'm like, I need you to stop
Doing that.
But stop disobeying me for discipline in front of her.
Yeah.
If I ever cross the line, by all means step in. But I guarantee you I won't cross the line.
Won't cross the line.
But if I do in your head, tell me when she's not around.
Right. Right.
We can never argue about direction, discipline, productivity, any of these things in front of our kids. In front of the kids, we have to be a united force. Mommy and daddy together. We both agree on everything. If you went to mommy, you're going to get the same answer as if you went to daddy. Don't teach her that, like, if I'm starting to discipline her, like...
Independence.
Oh, if I cry loud enough, mommy will get involved. We had that. We had something today. This has been a slight, I don't want to say an issue. It's just been that something that's happened, right?
Yeah.
It finally culminated today where my daughter wanted to get out of her high chair, and I was like, no, mommy's eating. You don't get out of your high chair until mommy eats. And she like started putting her head down, started crying. I go, Bruna, I don't even want you to look at her. I want you to keep eating. Yeah. She did. My daughter just shaped up. She's like, "Oh, mommy's not reacting." Dude, these kids are fucking smart. They're fucking smart. And they know how to play you like a fiddle. If I cry, she'll come. If I do this, she'll do that. So I told Bruna, I was like, you need to stop. You need to stop. Because you're creating this. I understand that nurturing aspect. And by the way, I agree with what you said. Bruna is like, if my daughter's sick, if my daughter needs kisses and hugs, wife. If my daughter needs direction, if my daughter needs to see how the world works, I got you. I got you in space.
Facts.
You will never be surprised at how the world is going to hurt you. Because I will show you a fraction of that beforehand.
Real shit. That's real shit.
That's my job as a father. 5%. That 5% is so
we don't have
huge.
much. We don't get, we barely even much get that 5. Because if I also cook and stuff too, so I get myself about a good.
Oh, you're a better man than I.
Because I got my son. You know, he's a healthy boy. So that's my boy. So that's my son. He's my protege. So it's my big boy. So he's like.
Do you like cooking?
Me? Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. I cook because if I gotta eat, I make sure he eats or they eat. If I cook, I just cook probably for them, and I don't eat until later because as of right now, December I'm in training right now, so the cooking goes straight to him. I'm on that, so it's like
here's the problem with these podcasts. When I have good conversations, 3 hours isn't even fucking enough.
Yeah.
I don't want to get out of the conversation with the kids because I think it's a powerful and good one, and I love vibing with another dad. If I can be honest with you, it's good to know that I'm not fucking crazy.
You are not alone, brother.
Let me ask you this: this is the first time I've done this. Where do you want to carry this conversation? Do you want to continue on this current topic? Do you want to get back to fighting? I'm down to clown in either way.
We can go wherever you want.
I want to know where you find the.
Let's go.
Okay. So you were talking about, and by the way, KJ. I'm glad you're a father.
Appreciate it.
The reason I stress the mirrors, the reason I think you guys should have a third kid is
I can see, the reason why.
No, listen, I can see.
You should have 3 squads that in
I
there.
can see when someone should, because of the kids that they'll produce.
Yeah.
And I see people that have kids that they shouldn't. I don't want to say it this way. I see people that have kids in numerous numbers where they probably should not have. Then I see people with like 1 or 2 kids where I'm like, dude, you guys need to have as fucking many as you can. You know what I mean? Now, granted, I'm not the one taking financial burden on that one. Duly noted. But all I'll say is, God bless. And if you had another one, it would be for the
You're invited to the baby shower.
Hey,
Uncle E.
I'll get her 5 shares of Apple stock. I'll put it on a wallet when she turns 18. Hopefully, she's got at least 10 grand.
That's Uncle E right there.
That's a funny fact, funny story. Like we were talking about Christmas gifts right now. Today. And Bruno's like, what do you want to do? I was like, I want to get her like 3 shares or something and put it in and she's like, that's not like, she won't even know what that is until 18. I go, but you know what she's going to know at 18? She ain't going to fucking remember that doll you bought her when she was 2, but she's going to love that 3 Apple stock. Like
we just showed this is our first Christmas. We just put the Christmas tree up together.
As a family?
Yeah.
How'd that feel?
It felt amazing, bro. Because seeing her little face, bro, seeing my son run around playing with the little stuff. No, he can't put it up there. He's trying to get involved. He's trying to get involved. My daughter said, well, we're all done, Dad. It's one more big piece to go. The star. Dad, you're going to pick me up and put the star? I say, yes, babe. When the star gets here, we're going to put the big star up. I'm so excited about this star, Dad. It melts me, man.
Dude, it brings back the beauty of life.
Bro.
That's what kids
my favorite
do.
holiday. Christmas is my favorite holiday. I love it. I love the colors, the sound, the lifestyle of it. Thanksgiving, Christmas, Valentine's Day, top 3.
I love holidays.
Yes.
But the number one reason I love hanging out with my daughter more than anybody else on this planet is because she's experiencing all this shit for the first time. And it reminds me the beauty of life, because for me, it's the 32nd time I've had a Christmas. For you, you know, and then it reminds you like, oh yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
Yes, the tree, like.
She wants to sleep in the living room.
Because of the tree.
Of the tree. Yeah, and the beautiful lights. I say, yeah, daughter, you did your work. Look at your work. Beautiful tree. We have a big white tree.
We got a new couch, and that was like the final nail in the coffin. I think we slept on the couch for like the last 5 days.
Yeah, she's probably sleeping there now. She's just like, oh my God, I love this tree. I can't wait till the star comes up. So she loves to sleep on the tree. She loves to sleep on it. So give her that. You can sleep in the you can sleep in the living room, daughter. Go ahead. You can sleep in there.
KJ, have more kids. But in the meantime, while you're working on having more kids, you're in camp now. You're getting another fight.
Yeah,
we didn't do the conversation justice about your trajectory in your career, but omitting some things, now we're at the present day.
Yes.
You're a professional fighter now.
Yes.
You have another fight coming up with a pretty heavy wrestler. Isn't he? Isn't he the guy that fought Montreal? Not the same guy?
No. Damn, it's just the same name.
I just showed my racism. So I said all these black people.
Wow, they all look alike. They all.
Was it not the same guy? Are you positive about that?
It's not the same guy.
No way. I went back on the thing. I went on the Tapology.
Not the same guy. Nope. Not the same guy.
Well, this is the first episode where I'm
trust me, you're not the only one who thought that either. I said no, it's not the same.
There's a lot of racists out there.
Yeah, so it's two Tony Grants. He's from Springfield. The other one
same name?
Yeah, Tony Grant. Yeah.
Okay, then I don't feel as bad. Maybe I did Google the guy, but like
this guy. Yeah, this is like caramel skin.
Anyway,
dreads. Well, short hair.
Then completely different. Forgive me.
It's all good.
You're fighting out of town though, right?
Yeah. January 4th. It feels great. It feels amazing. It's like finally. I feel like Lucas sometimes. I'm like, finally, Jesus Christ.
Lucas Clay, yeah.
Like finally, like you got this hot commodity right here, 155 right here. That's really like just really destroys stuff and really like sitting waiting for this, and it just, and we got to do what we got to do to support our family, and it's like, come on, you guys. And but in the mix of that, it's just like finally, and it just feels good though.
Before we talk about camp and preparations and all the fixtures, we were talking about Lucas Clay and like waiting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the frustration of being pro versus amateur? How easy it was finding fights as an amateur versus pro?
Yeah. It was. I was fighting every 2 weeks to a month.
It was nice, wasn't it?
Easy. When nobody. You ready to fight, Kat? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah. You want to fight? Mm-hmm. Well, if something happened and you can't fight, wait your 30 days, but you get back to it. Okay, cool. Ain't nothing gonna happen to me. I'm cool. Let's keep fighting. That was the mentality. That was the go-getter mentality. The fire in me. Let's go.
Yeah.
Before Tapology, before all this internet stuff we had, you know my amateur record was? Just take a wild guess.
Before all this stuff?
Yes.
Did you have over 20 fights?
Yes.
Oh, man. Over 30?
Yes.
Over 40?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus fucking Christ. Amateur fights?
Mm-hmm.
You better not tell the State Athletic Commission about this.
Yeah.
What was your record?
I was 56-6.
As an amateur? Why?
Because I was bouncing around too many people, too many things, not steering in the right direction. What I said,
that is such an obscene amount of amateur fights. I was 10-0, and I was like, oh, I'm ready.
When I was 12, I thought I was ready. But remember I told you I had that first loss? Felt like I wasn't ready.
Put some doubts in your head? Well, why 50 fights and not 25? Like, what was the number of...
The people I was dealing with wasn't in the best interest for me, as I thought.
I'm with you, but what I'm trying to say is, like, you are your own man. So
right,
at any time you could have been like, hey guys,
I'm ready to go.
Next
I'm ready
one's
to
a pro.
try. Yeah. Why didn't I?
You were at 25 fights.
Mm-hmm.
Were you not saying something like that? What was the metric for you to be like, okay, I'm ready to be pro? Someone has to tell me I'm ready to be pro? That'll do it. That'll fucking do it.
If you think I'm not ready, and I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Well, I guess we have to take a step back now. So, Black Cobra to MCS, how many fights did you have under Jared? 20, 30? How many? Jesus.
About a lot.
Did you ever have the conversation with Jared about professional?
Yeah, I signed my first pro contract with Jared.
With Jared when he was doing
367 at Parker Road.
Okay.
I remember exactly where I
But,
signed it.
okay, I want. Sorry. How? You're 40 fights in.
Yeah.
You say.
I was so apparently.
Did you finally make him be like, yo, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah,
50 fucking fights.
yeah.
Brother, I would have had that conversation at 25 fights.
Yeah, I had it at 12-1. I mean 15-1.
Yeah.
So when I had it at when I went 16-3. The two I lost to Shelby Graham.
Well, here's the problem.
And when I lost, that's when the people told me that I wasn't ready.
When you, and this is the thing I tell amateurs, when you get to a certain level of amateur, you're actually having harder fights than if you would have gone pro.
Yes.
Because now you're the gatekeeper. You're the guy people have to beat in order to feel like, okay, if I can beat KJ, then I know I can
And I
go
took
pro.
all their belts.
What?
And I took all their belts.
But it wasn't about the
It wasn't.
belts.
It wasn't at the moment because I wasn't getting paid. So
Yes.
so I had to become the best. I had to beat the best.
Amateur is the greatest like false sense of reality.
Yes.
Because you can have all these wins. Listen,
Yeah,
I'm 10-0.
yeah.
I was a 3. I had like 4 fucking belts, 2 different divisions. It doesn't fucking matter. It didn't fucking matter.
Yes.
None of it fucking mattered.
Yeah.
It mattered, but it didn't fucking
didn't
matter.
matter,
Does
yeah,
that make sense?
yeah,
I'm glad I did it,
Yeah.
but it didn't fucking matter.
It collecting dust.
What I'm trying to say is how many years did you spend at the amateur ranks fighting the best possible amateurs that come
was
up
wild.
when you could have had a pro debut against a fucking 0-0 guy?
And I did. I had my pro debut against Colin Parr.
And how did that feel?
Felt actually good. Did it the same.
Yeah.
Just the same.
That's
It
actually
just sounded
a
different.
pretty tough debut though. Colin Parr's on it. No.
We talked. And I knew what the game plans was, and I knew it. I just didn't. And I knew I was gonna win, and I knew. I just fell into his
Jiu-jitsu.
jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Why did I do that? And I had him beat standing.
Well, dude, there's so many ways to lose in fighting.
Yes.
That's why John Jones is the GOAT. I actually agree with you because
Yes.
to be that consistent for that
Yes.
many years, the hardest thing in sports.
Yes,
But
I had before Tap Live, before they can look, I got all videos of every last one of my fights. Before Tap Live that could had control of everything, like I said, Fall in Ballroom, Branson Beatdown, Jim Smothers, Heart of St. Charles, Fight Hard. I was fighting. I fought in a hick town in a gator farm, so in a gator backyard before. I fought with Toby Osmos before on his card.
But I hate to ask this the way I'm asking. Do you feel like you spent some of your prime years as an amateur when you should have gone pro?
Yep. Because I was not told if I was or was not ready. Didn't have the direction.
This is where I'm going to disagree with you for the first time. You should have been able to be like, fuck you guys, I'm going pro.
I should have.
Hindsight's 2020. When I was an amateur, I had coaches and stuff like that. I had managers and all that stuff, but I was the one who catered my career. The reason I went pro at 10-0 and not 9-0 or 11-0 was because I was also graduating college. And for me, I was like, okay, now I'm done.
Yes.
Now I can take this seriously. Because before then, it was school, right? I was just fighting for fun.
Yep.
And it just so happened that fighting was going well.
Yes.
But if fighting would have not gone well, then I would have never gone pro and I would have just gone my career.
So it's funny you say that. In the midst of me trying to figure it out, that should have been next. Since you guys not knowing, I started playing football. I'm a talented football player. What I had my football scholarship for. I had a football scholarship too. I'm a hell of a football player too.
What did you play? What position?
Running back and linebacker.
That doesn't shock me. You strike me as the kind of guy that can find a hole.
And never miss. That's crazy.
He's pretty black, pretty sweet.
Wow, E. That's a good one. Find a hole, penetrate it, get there.
I got 2 kids that say I can find the hole.
So in the mix that, so it was that time to where I was like, you know what? Since you guys, I'm not ready, I'm finna play some ball. So I started trying out for some football teams.
Hold up, though. That means you weren't committed to fighting the way you think you were.
Yeah.
Because you were waiting for somebody else to say something so that you were like, okay, well, that's fine. If I'm not ready for this, I'm going to go do something else.
Yeah.
That means fighting was not necessarily the prime.
It wasn't the prime.
Did you think that you could possibly do something with football as well? Were you trying to play your cards? Well, look at you. You hypocrite. You talk about Ken Porter. Look at yourself.
Yeah.
You were putting too many things on your plate.
Yeah. And I couldn't handle that. So I had to accept that, though. But I accepted it. I accepted it, though.
That's fair.
And I came back into 2. I came back down to earth. Can't do that. I admitted to I hold myself accountable.
Yeah.
And I did. But in the midst of that, if they had my best interest, saying something and not saying something would have been better for me.
I would have said, if you're not going to go pro, definitely don't go play football.
Thank you.
If you're going to go play football, what are we doing fighting for?
Thank you.
Is football it or is fighting it? You
yes.
can't half-ass either of these sports.
Yes, you can't.
It's too competitive.
And it can't. And you
Ask
could
a guy
not.
in the NFL whether or
Yes.
not he had other options when he was coming. No, it was football or nothing.
Yes, yes. And that's what it was.
Ask a fighter.
Yes.
Ask Sean Woodson. Ask Charles Johnson. Ask Buckley. Ask any of these guys. This is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yep. Yep. It's either
There is no
all
backup
in,
plan.
Yeah, it's either all in or all out.
They full-assed it. They didn't half-ass it.
And that's what it was. And theirs was a little bit different. They had the support from better than I had it to get to where they're at. They left.
This is the part where loyalty bit you in the ass. This is the part where loyalty bit you in the ass. Because I've seen these guys kind of come and go from gyms and stuff like that. Actually, Charles was at St. Charles MMA, so he kind of picked the first. I need to sit down with Charles and talk with him because I actually don't know if St. Charles was his first gym. I don't know that for certain.
Yeah, I see pictures. And stuff,
I know a little bit more about Buckley because when I went to Finney's, I
Okay.
got to meet him and talk with him a little bit more.
Yeah.
But Evan Elder, he's a good example of someone that like came up a certain way and then he was like, hey, I'm outgrowing this.
Yep.
And there's a way to keep loyalty with respect. Like when you see Evan Elder come back into town, ES MMA, like look at all the gyms. Everybody loves him because he kept the relationships.
Yeah.
He was able to distinguish or separate, hey, this is what I need to do
Right.
versus my relationship with you. I love you.
Right.
I respect you. I admire you. But this is what I need to do.
Right.
And I think you thought that these things were intertwined. By the way, I think they were because of your upbringing.
Yes.
Because of Ken Porter, because of this other gentleman. Like, this is what you thought it was. Hey, if I leave this guy, there's no way I can say I'm loyal to him. There's no way I can show him my respect and my admiration.
And
I
that's
left him.
Yeah, and that's why I got tatted on me to this day, like loyalty unto death. My loyalty plays a big part. Your word to me means a lot to me. If you say something, and I'm granted, like I was taught and brought up, a man's word is his strongest bond.
I agree.
And that's all I went by. And I was a stern believer of that.
Here's the problem. Just like we talked about your father, there's a lot of people out there that are genetically men, but not men.
They're not.
We live in a society where I agree with that.
Yeah.
If I say something, I mean it.
Yeah.
That's because how I was brought up. So I agree with that sentiment. There's a lot of people that don't.
Nope.
So you have to navigate a world where you're living in a moral echo chamber.
Yeah.
Where you and a small number of people all agree, but the vast majority don't. How do you navigate that, my man? That's tough.
Yeah. It's just like with love. It's more to it. Like I said, I got other stories, man.
Listen, if we have to
I
do,
love it from
if we have to do a
distance.
part two, if we have to do a part two to do justice, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I don't want to rush any part of this conversation.
You're right.
Because then we're gonna do like if you have 10 things you want to talk about, and we do 15 minutes on each. Okay, yeah, but then we didn't do any of those things justice. I would rather we'll do 3 now, 3 the next time. I've said this and I've had multiple guests on. Everybody is welcome on more than once, with the exception of Bree Eckert. Everybody else,
bleep that out.
No, I'm gonna clip that one.
Clip that one, huh?
Everybody's welcome on.
I just feel like, you know what I'm saying, to fight it, and that's where we were when I told you Kimaje and KJ. Like everybody knew me as KJ, the KJ the fighter, KJ the athletic. I couldn't sit still. That's how I know my kids are gonna.
Do you want to be known?
I always told myself, I told myself to this day, I manifested. Remember I told you about the job before we had our kids and stuff. I told her that before I leave, I want to be remembered and a professional in something.
No, but I mean like more the name because you're putting an emphasis on this name versus KJ versus Kimaje.
Yeah. Yeah. It's 2 different people.
Okay.
It's just 2 different people.
Well then, which one do you want to be?
That's the hard part.
I think you know. I think it's hard because you don't want to do it yet. You're waiting for it. It's only hard because you know, but maybe that task is so monumental. Maybe you're KJ until you finish fighting. I think it's all stupid bullshit. I think you already know who you are. Just decide.
Yeah. Yeah. I just feel that Kimaje comes out with the older generation. KJ is with who everybody knows.
What's the difference between them?
Two different attitudes.
Okay, what's the attitudes? What is KJ? What is Kimaje?
Kimaje is the... How can I say? Kimaje is the more...
The prince?
Something like that. But it's more so with the generation that I brought about with my family. That's Kimaje. I'm the baby. I'm the prince. I'm the person who they look at as...
Is that your past?
Yeah.
So what, is KJ the future?
KJ's the future.
So KJ is what you want to be.
Yeah.
What
but my
KJ?
real name, I'm Kimaje, and I got to live up to, you know what I'm saying?
Brother, you can be whatever the fuck you want to be.
You're right. You're right. You're absolutely correct.
You know what my father told me? Actually, forgive me, my mother told me. When she was terminally ill and it was like the last moments, like the last couple of conversations, she said, everything I've taught you so you can live past me. Do not do things to make me happy. Do things to make you happy.
Yeah.
And if I did my job right, the things that make you happy would have made me happy.
Yep. Yeah.
Such a wisdom in that.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people want to make their parents proud.
Yes.
But I don't think they understand, and now you have kids. The thing that would make me the most proud is if my daughter was just supremely happy.
Yes.
She could be a cop. She could be a firefighter. She could be a hair salon, a hair person. Yeah. I don't care what she's doing. As long as she's not hurting anybody, breaking any laws, whatever the fuck you want to do. And if you're happy, I'm happy. I'm proud.
Yeah.
And I can die happy. I don't care what it is.
Well, it's funny how you say, because it was like that. Now, that's why I said it's probably have to... I lost that side of me when I lost, like, my sister, the distance love of me and my mother. I ain't really get to all of that as well, too. So it's levels to it. And that's why I'm like, it's ways of how things is with me. I want to be this way, but I also want to be this because this is who I am. If I go sign a paper or put my name on, like I just asked, you want me to put KJ, or do you want to put the real what my birth certificate says? Then yeah. But that's why it is hard for me, because how it was, like, because it's not the same anymore. I have something missing that I can't never get back. That's the reason why I say it. I'll be KJ. I'm just KJ.
What is the missing aspect that you can never get back? Your sister?
Yeah.
I know exactly how you feel.
Because it's not... I told you, I'm dealing with a nephew that's without a mom.
And an absent father.
And an absent father. Who that just put you in?
Does he know that she passed?
Yeah, he was there. He questions me. He questions us. I miss my mom. I want my mom.
No. The father, forgive me, not the nephew. The father was there?
Yes. No, was he there with her?
Yes.
No.
No. Forgive me. Take a step back. Does the father, the biological father of your nephew, know that the mother has passed, your sister has passed?
Yes.
What was... This is unacceptable.
Yeah.
This is unacceptable.
And you know what? I see him every fucking Sunday.
At church?
At a football field.
How do you stop yourself from grabbing him by the neck? You're a better man than I.
Yeah.
You're a better man than I.
You're absolutely correct.
I'd be in prison.
You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct.
Do you have conversations with him?
I try to.
What is...
When you got stupidity and a person that says...
This isn't stupidity.
Yeah.
This isn't stupidity.
Yeah.
This is calculated malice.
But look, though, here's the thing. I tried. I tried to rekindle that. I tried to bring it together. And you know what was told? Well, it is what it is. So you just giving up. You just gave up. And the thing is, I see you every fucking spring, summer, fall at a football field with your other sons. Well, you have a 14-year-old right here that I'm help raise, brother. What's the problem? What's the issue? You're alive.
The worst thing he did was not the infidelity or the stepping out. The worst thing he did was to neglect a life that he created.
And he looks exactly like him. You hear me, E? Exactly.
Show
like
him pictures. Force him, like, mail. Do you know
I
where
did
he
all
lives?
of that. I know where he is.
You know what I would do?
Who he is. I know this. And the reason why I left it alone because you know what Mom said? Let God handle it.
No, I actually disagree. I'm going to tell you something that I've learned. When I worked at Amdocs, I had a boss. I could not get a hold of our financial planner. My boss goes, Erion, he's Israeli. Erion, did you call him? I go, yes, I did call him. He didn't pick up. Did you email him? Yes, I emailed him. He didn't respond. Good. Call him until he does pick up. I go, what do you mean? He goes, call him over and over and over again, even for an hour if you have to. Call him until he picks up. I know that sounds so stupid.
Yeah.
That was like a Thursday and some random day of work. Mm-hmm. That mentality is now what I have. Mm-hmm. If I need to get a fucking hold of you, if I need to tell you a message, I'm going to call you nonstop until you pick up your fucking phone. Yeah. And when you do, I'm going to be like, you would have saved yourself a lot of time if you picked up the first time. Yeah. I will get my fucking message across. So send him a picture every fucking day until, do you know his address? Mail him a picture every day. I will Venmo you the postage stamp. Whatever that cost is, I'll Venmo you a monthly cost. Mail him a picture of the kid every fucking day. 2 if you have to.
Right.
Until he responds. Until he responds.
Yeah.
You do not get to stop acting like you're a good man Monday through Sunday when you've neglected the aspects of life that make you good. You don't get to play both sides. Cunt.
So this. And
that fucking fires me up.
Angry face. Clip that. Angry face mode.
That's fucking insane. It's fucking
man.
insane.
I'm
Especially if you see him every Sunday. God bless your patience, because I would have lost mine.
Yes.
I'd be in prison.
My mom just was like, what's better off you doing something to him? What's that gonna do?
A lot.
He knows I fight. He knows that He knows
you're civilized. He knows you fight. He knows you're civil. He ain't gonna do it. He ain't crazy. That's what he's thinking.
Yeah.
Show him a little crazy. Put the fear of God into him. Suddenly he'll be there for Easter.
But that's the thing, though, E. Guys not fighting fair anymore.
KJ, listen, we're already at 3 hours, brother.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yes.
We need to do the conversation justice.
Yeah.
So you'll be the first person that we do a part 1 for.
Yeah.
And then we'll have you on again soon.
Yes, sir.
We'll do a part 2.
Okay.
And we'll pick up off of it after this. We'll schedule something in the next couple of weeks. I want to do it. Not like a month.
Okay.
Let's do it. We'll see if you're in town for Christmas. But listen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the transparency. You've told me a lot today about your past, about your family, about the inner workings of this. I am so sorry for a multitude of things that have happened in your life. First, the loss of your sister. Truly, I'm so sorry for that.
Thank you.
The second, I'm sorry about the absence of your father. That's unacceptable. That's unreasonable. No good man would say that that's, hey, it is what it is, can go fuck itself.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for being on here and having this discussion with me. I had an idea of what this conversation was going to be, completely left field, and I'm fucking here for it. Yeah. My only regret is that we live in a corporeal form where time is a factor.
Yeah, and time waits for nobody.
I'm sorry.
Time waits for no man.
Brother.
I understand. Thank you
so much. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Real talk.
Hey.
Real talk. Thank you for giving me the